What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. As you know, I was just over on one show, and now I'm on another show, so this is gonna be fun. Plus, I've been drinking. I've been drinking
Okay.
immense amounts of alcohol. So we're gonna talk about what's happened last week. We're gonna kind of condense Survivor Series because I don't want to be up till 5 o'clock talking
Survivor
about it.
Series.
Royal Rumble, you mean?
Royal
Yeah,
Rumble.
we're gonna condense the last
like I
6
said,
months.
I've been drinking, so shut your fucking mouth. We're going to talk about Royal Rumble. We're going to condense it. We'll probably just go over the Meltzer ratings and probably talk about the match and how big of a dumbass Meltzer is. But hey, we'll do what we can. There is a lot of news. We'll talk about the certain things that happened. We'll give thoughts on some title changes. That's a thing of contention. And we'll talk about some injuries. There's like 7 injuries that placed recently that have impact on not only the Royal Rumble Survivor Series, just basement, Bobbit, waiting. But it also has a lot to do with the future. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some people being rumored to be somewhere. We'll talk about somebody that can't fucking keep their nose out of the fucking cocaine, which I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm just being a smartass. We'll talk about AEW. We'll talk about NXT. We will talk about New Japan, because something big happened there for sure. Big enough to talk about. And we'll talk about NWA, which really intrigues me, to be honest with you. It's something that a lot of companies do, but don't do it right. And then we'll talk about one thing that I got from Impact. Ronnie's not here. So that being said, let's get into it. And congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. They won a Super Bowl 31-20. But don't get a big head because you don't know the team. So there you go. And I'm talking to you, Dan. You don't say my Chiefs because they are not your Chiefs. You do not own them.
My Chiefs did it, guys.
I hate that.
I don't even have a team.
My Chiefs thing, my Colts, my fucking Packers. I don't call them my Packers. I say the Packers. But anyway, so Royal Rumble happened, and we're going to do that like real quick right now. We are going to talk real quick about it. The pre-show shit, I don't care about. The one thing from the pre-show is Andrade beat Humberto Carrillo for the United States Championship, and then we'll talk about him in a minute. He's the druggie. We'll talk about him in a minute. The other match, what was the other match on the pre-show?
Gable and Sheamus.
Which, like, I don't know why they make it a contention to put these matches on when you know who's going to win. Makes no sense to put it on a pay-per-view for me.
Well, it's the pre-show, right? Like they're literally just giving a taste of what's going to happen for the fans that are filtering in. Mm-hmm. It's garbage, is what it is. It's filler garbage.
The pre-shows don't need to be 2 hours. We talked about this with what was it, Survivor or Royal Rumble? Or Survivor Series?
There's only one pre-show should be 2 hours, and that's WrestleMania, because the card should be bigger than the rest of the fucking shows.
Yes,
that's it.
I agree.
I think that like we've talked about that numerous times, and like we even discussed like even back when they did Sunday Night Heat before a pay-per-view, that was only an hour before the pay-per-view.
Yep.
And that was like nonstop consistent matches. Nobody gives a fuck about Sam Roberts and Booker T and Renee Young talking their ass off. I don't care.
Well, the thing I hate is what they fucking show exactly what we end up seeing. All these fucking promo packages we've already seen at least 3 times. Then we get to see them on the pre-show. Then we get to see them on the main show. It's the same information, regurgitated garbage.
Yeah, and the thing is, and Sunday Night Heat was so good, and here is why: because they added on to the story. They actually added to the story. Like, if you remember, and I'll give you an example, when The Rock beat the shit out of Mankind, when they were going to have their I Quit match, Rock beat the hell, and they built 2. But if you look at it now, it's just like they're going to have Carmella come out and talk about whatever. If I'm using this as I'll use this. Roman Reigns comes out, and I don't think he did, but he comes out and he talks about his match with Baron Corbin. That's all this pre-show is.
Yeah. With like a panel of talking heads.
Yes, it don't care. If I want to see that, I will watch a 2-hour show. Give me an hour show where it builds to the Royal Rumble.
What I would do is, like, if you're gonna do this kind of bullshit and you're gonna do 2 hours, then those segments, like, okay, you want to keep a feud relevant that's not going to culminate at the pay-per-view you're doing, showcase it there.
Yep.
Have a Lana and Lashley segment. Have something that is actually keeping something alive that's featured on Raw and SmackDown that is not going to be featured on this pay-per-view, and pepper in what is going to be featured on this pay-per-view, like backstage segments of the club or whatever you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But come and sit with us and talk for 30 minutes. Who do you think's going to win this? What have you done to prepare for a dog food eating match? Like, who the fuck cares, man?
No, you're right.
I ate a lot of dog food to get used to it.
Right. So that's my thinking on it. The first match, the kickoff match, which was, and I forget because that's how bad these matches were. What was the first match?
I mean, the Sheamus and Gable match wasn't bad, but it was just more of they did it again on Raw, and it's kind of the same. Both guys can work really well. It's a good introductory for Sheamus coming back from being away for a long time, and it's a good guy for him to work with. Right. But who gives a fuck, really, in the end?
Right. And then the first match on the main card was what?
Reigns and Corbin.
I think they did Andrade, the U.S. title first, or did they do Sheamus and Gable first?
Are you talking about in a pre-show? Because that was on a pre-show. Yeah. They did the Andrade.
That's so fucked. I mean, it's for the U.S. Championship. Even though it's a pre-show, it still should be the last fucking thing they do.
Agreed. But the first match was actually on the main card was Reigns and Corbin, which was, for me, these Falls Count Anywhere matches in a stadium like this. And I said it when we were doing the show, because we actually streamed it on my channel, is it takes 25 minutes to walk around the fucking stadium. How far are you going to get? And where they got was to the top of the dugout, which is a typical. They're in a baseball stadium, so they're going to finish on them. It's obvious. They're going to finish on the fucking dugout. The finish is going to be on the dugout. Who cares?
See, for me, like, Falls Count
Anywhere. It was a good match, but it's like, we've seen it 5,322 times.
I like Falls Count Anywhere matches that are, like, they use the idea of pinning somebody outside of the ring in and around the ring, not necessarily like 30 feet into the audience or stuff. You might have a little stint in the audience, but keep the match in a place you can control and people can still do moves. Because in the fans, it's a lot of just thrown punches and falling over and then 1 or 2 moves. This match was losing me until the other guys got into it. And then the match actually switched to like focus on them for like 10 minutes.
Yep, it was bad. It was bad. But
it wasn't that bad of a match overall. No. I thought I got the audience into it.
Okay. Anybody else thoughts? I don't care who goes.
Chuck, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought it was thought it was an okay match. It wasn't the best Reigns match, but it was a good way to kick off the card. It was a, because considering what followed it,
Mhm.
it was all right. It
Okay.
wasn't too bad.
All right, Gina, I know you jumped in there. Go ahead.
We're talking about Andrade, right?
No,
No,
I ain't gonna
yeah,
talk
Falls
about
Count
not
Anywhere.
yet. Not yet. I'll get
Roman
to it.
Reigns.
Oh, okay.
We're
I'm
talking
sorry,
about
man.
the match, the
Um,
Royal Roman Reigns
yeah.
match. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Austin
all right.
came in, so I was
It's
kind
all
of
right.
confused. I don't know. It was a good way to start. Wasn't the best match, but it definitely wasn't the worst either.
Well, there's matches
was okay
on
for
here
me.
that were worse. Trust me.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, it was a good start. I felt like it had a really good ending that actually kind of set up what was leading into what happened on SmackDown.
Right.
So, yeah, not bad.
Yep. Trek, anything?
It wasn't awful. I mean, we all know what. We'll all get to the match that was the worst of the night. But I mean, this was not a bad way to start off.
Right.
I thought it was funny when, like you pointed out, that there was still grass sticking through the ground of the stadium. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that was just me being a smartass. That had nothing to do with it. Bobbit, you have the Meltzer ratings. What did they give this match? I don't care about the other fucking two. Pre-show.
Okay.
You can give them.
just
You can
for
give them.
shits and giggles, I'm just going to mention them.
Go ahead.
One of Gable, well, Sheamus got 2.25, Andrade got 2.5. All right, Reigns versus Corbin, 3.25 stars.
I mean, a lot of people, from what I saw, really appreciated like the change in venue, like the stadium. Like they did this last year, but it seems to be like a thing that they're probably going to do year in year out with these fucking stadiums for Royal Rumble, baseball stadiums. And I'm not a fan of these stadiums because they're too big.
Yes.
And the entrances through the dugout, they look bad. There's no fanfare to the entrances, and when they fight in the audience, like look, like it took, like they took this match was what 20 minutes long, I think, and like
yes,
I'm gonna say 12 of those minutes is just walking from one point to the next.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good as a novelty, but as something that is consistent year in year out, I like. The entrance is what kills the stadium for me more than anything else.
Agreed.
But I'm not with 3.25. I'd give this probably like a 2.5.
I can agree. I can do 2.5, 2.75 for the match itself. It's 2.5, 2.75. Yes, I can't give it a 3.25. He's just giving it 3.25 because people like seeing that fucking shit.
I don't mind it, but it wasn't done great. Sorry,
No.
Gina, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I would probably go like a 2.75 or a 3 even, just because like it did do a really good job like kicking off the show. It wasn't too much, and it wasn't like it wasn't too blah, and not too much.
No, it wasn't
So
bad.
it did a really good job kicking off the
Do you
show.
think
It
they
got the
should have-
energy up a little bit.
Do you think they should have put this where it was or the women's rumble here?
Mm-mm.
I think they
I
should.
think that
I think
Reigns.
I think they should have bookended personally. But
Like,
what,
I could see that, but I was okay with this kicking off this show.
Yeah,
Either
I was-
or.
either or.
I liked where it was. I liked where it was because, like I said, it did a good job bringing it into the show. And to kick off the show right away with a Rumble is a little too like that's just diving in too quickly for my
I
taste.
just don't like when I have like I can still remember or the last Rumble I watched is fresh in my mind, and then I get to see the next Rumble. Like bookending Rumbles is what I would prefer, but this wasn't a bad choice as long as they were going to do the women's Rumble like soon after.
Mhm.
Which they did.
Yeah.
All right. And the next match was the women's Royal Rumble. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, actually-
had an issue with some of the decisions that they made because it was actually put out on Twitter, and I knew that this was going to fucking happen. And yes, it's people on Twitter. Basement always says ignore these people, but it's kind of fucking hard when they make a point that is actually agenda driven. It makes no fucking sense. So, and I asked this question to Bobbitt and Trek, when we did the show on Wednesday, we actually talked about Santino Morello showing up.
Mhm.
I asked the
I cracked
question. What did you all think of Nia Jax? I know I hated when Nia Jax showed up in the Men's Royal Rumble because it made no fucking sense. It was a spot for spot's sake, which takes away a spot from somebody that it could have gone to. This did the exact same fucking thing. Made no fucking sense to me whatsoever. At 29, I can understand, and I think we talked about this earlier in the match, like at a 7 or in 10.
They
or
always
at
do this
12,
shit though.
And I hate that. But at 29?
Number 27, 28, or 29 is going to be a gimmick shit fest. Almost always.
But I don't
mean,
like
I was okay with it just because, like, back in the day, Santina actually, like, if you remember, it was the whole thing. She
I know.
competed with the women, you know, so it wasn't like it was just
I know why
this sudden
I know why they did it.
thing. Yeah, but like, I mean, like you said, 29. That spot was a little bit like, what the fuck, man?
And
know,
then
'cause
you
get
bring
towards
out
the end.
and then you bring out Shayna Baszler at number 30.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, well, and
okay.
Santina.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, JP. I was just going to say Santina, the thing that pissed me off about that whole thing wasn't that he was in the Rumble necessarily. The thing that pissed me off was the fact that he literally, it was funny as hell, but it also kind of irritated me that he literally took himself out of the Rumble. So it was just, they were filling in a spot.
Well, here's
That's all
the
that they
thing.
were doing.
Here's the thing, and this is where I bring this up, the Nia Jax thing. So you're okay with Nia Jax taking a spot away from a man in the Royal Rumble, but everybody's not okay with Santino Morello, or Morello, whatever the fuck you want to call him, taking a spot away from a woman that deserves it.
I would prefer
This-
neither happened.
I agree.
You know, the way I see it is a Rumble's a Rumble, whatever. Put them in one of them. I don't give a fuck. You know, but like,
Do it
I
earlier.
thought it was fun. Like I said, I thought it was fucking hilarious because I watched wrestling way back when Santino was going up against all these women, and it was always this like running gag. So it was obviously a running gag. I thought it was hilarious. I just did not like the fact that he took himself out pretty much almost immediately, like by literally jumping over the top rope.
Mhm.
Just took himself out because that told me that they just needed to fill a spot. And for me, there's people down in NXT. I know they brought a lot of people up in NXT. But there was also one more person down there. Rhea Ripley could have come out.
Yeah, she's a champion, though.
No, I'd prefer she didn't. But you're right. I mean,
You know what I
it was
mean?
already
Like, there's just
50%
somebody else.
NXT anyway, so you might as well feature another talent from NXT. I don't know. I'm just like, I hate, like, I was never a fan of Santino or Santina, regardless. But I mean, those comedy spots are part of the Rumble. I do agree with you guys. It's the wrong place to put them.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't like the idea of having Shayna Baszler number 30.
Me
Shayna
neither.
Baszler's supposed to come off as like one of these big badasses, and to put her in number 30, kind of, for me anyway, that kind of took away from her badassery because
Come in at number 30 and lose?
yeah,
Not
well,
good.
when you bring somebody out like that, like Shayna has always been so dominant. And when you bring her out at number 30 and then she's down to the final 4, obviously, and then you have her lose the way that you did, it just, I don't know. I just didn't like it.
I was okay with. I knew she was going to be in the Rumble. I am okay that
Oh,
she
yeah.
didn't win.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I
But
am
like,
too, but I would have preferred her to come in at like 12 or something and last until like 26.
Mhm.
Give her a little bit of a run so that like she doesn't look like a fucking waste of space.
Mhm.
She came in at 30 and lost. Like, I mean, that to me is like, it's not the right place. I mean, I know this, like,
honestly-
who's coming in at 30?
it's a
And
similar.
unless they're gonna win, they might as well be a nobody.
I
For me,
honest-
it was a very similar. Sorry, JP.
No,
it was
sorry.
a very similar situation to what happens in the men's rumble right away, and we'll talk about that. But like it irritates.
I prefer the way the men's rumble does everything. The women's rumble, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the women's rumble. I thought it was actually pretty good. Wasn't a fan of the Santina stuff, but to each their own. I wasn't gonna like nitpick on it. And I wasn't a fan of where Shayna Baszler was put, but in the end, she was never gonna win anyway.
It was a good rumble, regardless.
It was a good rumble, regardless.
Yes, I can agree.
Beth Phoenix fucking. Sorry, JP, go ahead.
No.
Beth Phoenix fucking killed it.
Beth Phoenix. Well, I'm gonna let Gina go ahead.
I was just gonna say Beth Phoenix taking that fucking headshot like a champ. It's like she stayed in there for how long after she was bleeding
And
badly.
I know that Heather actually ran that part of the show. What did you think of it, Heather? The Rumble itself. She hated it.
It was an exact repeat of last year's Rumble. I mean, constantly you're showcasing these women, you're giving them more time, you're putting them up on platforms. Meanwhile, you're doing a repeat show.
Well, I mean, they didn't do exactly because last year, I thought that last year's Rumble was trash.
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
better than last year's, but it wasn't like great. It wasn't billed to be great though, because it was put on first.
Yeah.
Well, and I do want to address one thing with the Rumble. I have a feeling that the reason why Santina was put into the Rumble was at last minute like that was because Sasha Banks. They got word that Sasha Banks could not compete in the Rumble at last minute, like she was injured.
That is correct.
So they were kind of
talks. We're going to talk about that.
They were kind of working up to that, but that's a lot of the reason why Santina was in there.
I think that, and we'll talk about it now. Sasha Banks apparently has possible Achilles tendon injury. I don't know how serious it is. But that's the rumor. That is not really even a rumor. That's the word on the street, and everybody is saying that she is really legit hurt. Now, I think that they found out that she could not go, and yes, it was her birthday that night. I think that she was supposed to win the Rumble, but they had to throw a curve because she could not go, so they had Charlotte.
And I will say this for all of you Sasha fans out there that are freaking out that she wasn't in the Rumble, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, she's injured, and she was backstage at the Rumble because that, I looked through the category on WWE.com. I looked through the picture category from the Rumble, and there's pictures of her backstage. She's standing there talking to people and stuff, so I don't know exactly how bad her injury is, but obviously it has to be pretty damn bad if they would not let her go.
I'm going to say this. I am teetering on the brink of Sasha Banks.
I'm not a fan.
I used to really like her in NXT. She came into the main roster. I know things haven't worked out creatively for her at times, and that's when I was like, okay, I kind of feel for the girl, but there's the glaring holes in everything she does, from mic work to in-ring work. She has her struggling moments. The thing where I'm teetering on is her inability to remain healthy or remain on TV, regardless of what the reason she's not being on TV for.
Yep.
This is I felt the same in the last year and a half with Alexa Bliss, where if you can't stay on TV for whatever the reason might be, whether it's mental health, injury or not, it's not going to bode well for you. And the company is not going to push you, because if you can't be around, if you can only be around for 100 of 365 days, why would they push you? They can't rely upon you.
Agreed.
And this is where she is for me right now, because everybody loves her. All these people love her. Not everybody, but a lot of people love her on social media. And they want her to be pushed, but it seems like every push, even the smallest direction, has to be retracted when she's all fucked up for some reason.
I think she was supposed to win the Rumble this year, and because she was hurt, they had to throw a curveball, and Charlotte ended up winning.
Well, I also think the infuriating thing for me too, even more so than Alexa Bliss, but kind of in the same realm, Sasha Banks. I mean, she fucking disappears for times on end, but she's all over fucking social media, posting pictures like she's the fucking healthiest human being alive, doing glamour shots and fucking living in Mexico or Cuba or wherever the fuck she was for like 6 months.
What do you call her? I know you called her something not that long ago.
Instagram star? I don't know.
No, she's one of those people that she is more there. She's a fan. How did you say that? She's more or less a fan of wrestling, and she shows it. But yet she's all about the glitz and glamour of being a superstar.
She's a fan of wrestling, but she's more about the celebrity lifestyle.
There you go.
It is what I'm seeing.
Well, I mean, come on,
that
she's
might be completely
Snoop Dogg's
wrong.
cousin, so does that?
Yeah, but she went from never like hardly being able to wrestle for a year to I'm gonna make a rap album. Well, nobody wants to listen to you fucking rap. Shut the fuck up and do what you like.
I'm not gonna
bash.
I'm not gonna bash her music because I mean I don't know what the fuck she sounds like rapping, but.
Well, if she raps like she wrestles, she's gonna botch every fucking second word.
Well, the thing is, for me, even her mic work has gone down a little bit for me, over the past, since she's been back.
I think she's just kind of exposed, even in her heel. Like her face work sucks, but her heel work has been exposed for the what she can't do. Like she can play this one fucking character.
Yeah, she can play like the bitch. Yeah, like the bitchy boss, but otherwise
so
she can't.
One-dimensional. Yeah, it's so one-dimensional. She always does this fucking head thing, fucking snake, and like, stop, please, God.
I mean, I
have
will
a conversation.
Yeah.
I will say this: like between her and Bayley, the one person that I believe has grown the most in WWE has been Bayley. Like I didn't think Bayley could pull off this heel character, but she's doing a fucking amazing job.
I'm not gonna say she's doing an amazing job at all
compared to what she started out as.
I still don't want to see her ever, but she's better than what she was. I will say, like she's at least more confident on the mic. She just comes off like she speaks like a sloth.
She does. She does. She looks like a sloth too. But anyway,
I mean,
regardless of what she looks like, she's just like there's like her. She can't like she has no like deeper emotions.
So
I don't think she has emotions at all. Like she's just like dead inside.
Well, when she cried and stuff, it's like, oh my god, man, this is must be really tough for her to try to like dig deep into like whatever type of fucking
trigger the emotions that you don't have.
I gotta remember the life of somebody else so I can cry.
Remember when Nemo's mom died?
So Charlotte ends up winning the Royal Rumble, and apparently Charlotte came out Monday night, and I liked what she did. I knew they were going to announce one, but I knew that they were going to announce the other. Charlotte came out on Monday and said, I'm challenging for a title. She didn't say which one. Now, there is a rumor out there that she may challenge Rhea Ripley.
Kill me. Just shoot me in the face.
I agree.
I don't want to see that.
I agree. Because that just tells me that Rhea Ripley is losing the title.
Why would she want the NXT Women's title?
Ultimately, I think that because of the tag match that happened on Monday night with the women, I think that it is going to be her and Becky win the tag titles, and then it's going to be champion versus champion for the Raw Women's Championship.
Well, she can only challenge for a title at WrestleMania.
I know that, but I think that her and Becky are going to team together against Asuka and Kairi Sane, and they're going to win the tag titles. And then at WrestleMania, you're going to have tag champion versus tag champion for the Raw Women's Championship.
I don't know. I do know. I hate this. I hate this idea.
You think that Becky or Charlotte is going to win one of the titles? What do you mean? You think
so Becky's?
You think Charlotte's going to beat Bayley?
No.
Keep up with me here. Keep up with me.
I am so fucking confused.
Becky is the Raw Women's Champion.
That I know. Don't say women's no more, goddammit. But anyway, go ahead.
Becky and Charlotte are going to team together and challenge Asuka and Kairi Sane for the women's tag team titles. They're going to win those. And then at WrestleMania, it is going to be tag team champion versus tag team champion for the Raw title.
Do not want to see that.
I don't want to see it either, but I have. I
don't want to see I don't want to see Charlotte versus Becky. I really don't
want
to. And I hope it doesn't end up happening.
I will say this: I don't want to see Charlotte versus Becky versus fucking Shayna Baszler either.
No, I actually don't want to see Becky.
Me neither.
Unless it's Ronda Rousey, I don't want to see Becky.
They should have switched the fucking title.
Mm-hmm.
I do not care what
Asuka should have won. In all honesty,
I do not care how hot Becky is. I don't care if she's the fucking man. If she's the fucking man, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the man, but he was chasing the title more than he held it.
Either that, or what I feel is going to happen is it's going to somehow Asuka's going to get her way into that match, and it's going to be another triple threat main event for WrestleMania.
That I don't know. That I could be.
Corey Graves said it really well too, like on that fucking whatever days. I saw a snippet of it, and he's like, she's kind of like, she's losing the fans.
She is.
Becky Lynch. She needs to unveil another part of her persona in order to keep the fans alive. If you remember, Stone Cold and The Rock did a lot of the same shit for a while, but they did change as time went on. And at this point in time, a year in, she needs to change a little bit. And I think that's what they're doing with the whole GOAT thing. But
it's so stupid though, because it's essentially the same fucking thing. They just put the GOAT on it.
Well, she was like, "I'm the man, and now I'm the best in the business." And I know I'm the best.
So.
How many times are they going to play the GOAT card though? They did it with Chris Jericho, which.
Well, they're still playing warranted. That card. They're still playing. That card.
But that's warranted. It's Chris fucking Jericho.
I don't think he's the GOAT. But that's another issue.
Well, at least he can use the moniker and be accepted using it.
Yes.
But Becky Lynch cannot in any
And then you had Daniel Bryan. They did it with Daniel Bryan, and now they're doing it with
Bryan was called a GOAT. He wasn't called the GOAT. That's why he
but then being called a GOAT turned into being called the GOAT.
But that works.
They used the greatest of all time, whether they called it the GOAT or not. They use that gimmick a lot in wrestling, and I understand like it's a strong, it's a very cheap heel way to get heat.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think cheap heel heat is what Becky Lynch should be looking for at this point in time.
Becky Lynch,
she needs to develop the character that she's put forward and people liked, and now it's not going that way, man.
No,
and I can't stand her in ring, so
they're turning on her big time.
The fans are starting to not like her, and everybody's like, "Well, I don't understand that." Well, fucking watch fucking wrestling every once in a while. Don't sit there and she got fucked over for 3 fucking. I don't give a fuck. She is a better Vince. What Vince is telling you right fucking now is she's a better chaser. When she was chasing the title and saying that I've been overlooked and this, that's Becky's character. She should be overlooked. That's how they should treat her. But now, because she got punched in the face and got her fucking face broke, now everybody thinks that, she's the best thing since what? Get the fuck out of here. She is better chasing the title than she is holding it. Stone Cold Steve Austin, and again, I'm going to say it again, Stone Cold Steve Austin chased the title more than he held it. Yes, he held it, 6 times? I think it's 6 times.
The Rock chased it too.
The Rock was a chaser. The baby faces are not the ones that need to hold the title for a fucking year and a half.
Okay, and this is going to be this is going to be a perfect point because in that Corey Graves whole fucking thing, he compares her to Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. These reigns as champions, and he's like, it's just the culture. It's not just the culture. It's the exact same thing you just said, JP. We've got multiple people playing babyface, holding the title for too long. They have to be chasing a title. They can't do anything when they have a title. Becky Lynch, she needs to be screwed out of that championship at this point in time.
And
here's
soon.
the thing.
Go ahead.
One of the all-time favorite fucking baby faces of a lot of people, Mick Foley. How many times did he hold that title?
Probably 2 or 3.
Exactly. And he had to fight tooth and nail in order to get that title, but that was why people loved him.
I will
Because
say
he
this.
was constantly clawing for it.
I will say this right now. With Becky Lynch, that goat picture on the back looks exactly like Becky Lynch.
I just feel like, I mean, she's either turning heel because that was what she said was 100% heel.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's going, but I think they're gonna do the exact same thing they want to do and have her like tiptoe on that line of being face heel, face heel, say heel stuff, but be a face.
She's terrible.
She's gonna, because she's fucking. That is not her actual persona. That is not who she actually is. She's a fucking goofball, not this fucking badass.
Yeah.
And her wrestling, it's passable at best. She's like the John Cena of the women. She can wrestle, but she's like, I don't want to see it.
Yep. But going on to the Royal Rumble, what did they give it, Bob? Quick.
The women's Rumble,
Yes.
3.5.
I'm going to say this right now. I don't grade Rumbles because they aren't gradable. They're about moments.
I agree.
They're about moments, which we'll talk about, which I was kind of pissed off when the moment happened, but we'll talk about it. And I'll explain myself. So anyway, what was the next match?
Bayley versus Lacey Evans.
This match is terrible because
it is.
I don't know why the match even happened in the first place if they were going to have the finish that they did.
I agree.
It was a roll-up.
Like it made
It
absolutely
was terrible.
It made absolutely no sense, and like Lacey Evans actually ended up looking like super weak at one point in time because
No, she looked super weak the whole fucking match.
yeah,
I mean,
so
she lost
she
to
just,
like a
went
reversal
down,
from the top rope. That's what she lost.
but
to.
like she just went down and never got back up, and that's not Lacey Evans' character at all. So it didn't match her character.
No.
It didn't. It like the storyline itself did not. Having the match end the way that it did not make any sense for the storyline. I know what they're doing, and this is why I say it's going to be Charlotte versus Becky at WrestleMania because I have a feeling that it's going to be fucking Bayley versus Lacey at Mania again.
No,
because I think that they're dragging this storyline out.
I think it's going to be Sasha and Bayley.
I
think
mean,
it's gonna be Sasha. Well, I don't give a fuck, honestly. I don't want to see any of it.
I don't either.
But
I don't either. They're going to culminate the fucking 4 Horsewomen story. That's what they're going to fucking do.
The problem is the women's division. They're featured a lot and they wrestle a lot, but I don't give a fuck about 90% of them.
Yep.
And that's on creative and booking. Like I just don't care.
Yep.
I mean, I care more about fucking Mandy Rose and Otis than I care about the women's division for the most part.
well,
Like
and
they just haven't done it right.
Right.
I thought for sure that they were going to have Lacey win because like they started using her daughter and it was this whole like kind of anti-bully thing that Lacey was going on. And you know how WWE is with the anti-bullying, but then they have the bully win.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't make any sense.
I think they're going to, well, you could be right. They probably will do the Lacey, and Lacey Evans will get her comeuppance and will beat Bayley for the title.
But I don't think anybody. The thing is, Lacey Evans' character right now is so fucking lost in the fucking in time. I don't know what she is.
Mm-hmm.
I know parts of what she is, and parts of what she is I like. Parts of what she is I don't.
Right.
If she wins the title, I don't know what the fuck is she gonna come out and be like, "Oh my," and fucking wave on her face, or is she gonna come out and be like,
they need to bring her back to what she originally was when she debuted in NXT, which was a heel badass Marine. Yeah, she came out dressed.
Her being a face. I think she's a good face.
But the thing is, she came out dressed like the lady, and she pulled off the face as well at this time. But she was a complete badass. There was none of this like I'm a lady and blah blah blah. It was none of that shit. Like she was just a badass former Marine.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, turn her into John Cena.
There you go.
You want her to get a spinner belt?
No,
not that John Cena. The fucking hustle, loyalty, respect John Cena.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I mean, there's so many different things that they could do with her as far as like her being a former Marine, but they're not doing it.
I wouldn't turn
they're
her
not
into
doing
the
it.
main character, but
But you know what though? They have like the perfect thing because she comes out and she's pretty much dressed like Rosie the Riveter, you know, and like they have this. I know they want to make her look like a powerful woman, like this whole women's movement thing.
Yep.
The women's right and all this shit. So why not actually capitalize on that character and make her into that, like let her go as this badass Marine, have her come out dressed like Rosie the Riveter like she did when she originally debuted in NXT.
Trek,
I think Vince McMahon wants her to wear a strap on and just fuck him in the ass.
Well, sometimes that happens. Trek, what about you? What did you think of the match?
Good Lord, let it in. That's what I thought.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it was
that
terrible.
was a shitty response, but okay.
I agree with him. It was
I agree with you, but it's like, give me something more than that.
No, it's just they have good chemistry together when they do the promos and stuff like that. I mean, it's fine, but then if you get them in the ring, it just felt like they're rushing to get through.
I
Cut.
can agree with that.
Yeah.
There's one spot I want to go back to the Royal Rumble. The spot with Otis, Mandy Rose.
Yes, that was the best.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. Yes, it was expected. You knew it was gonna happen, but come on, make it real.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I
don't think they could they could make sure it happened in that exact way
there's no fucking
with
way.
it, like
But
her not rolling off onto him.
the thing is, though, the way that it's set up for that eventual,
Mandy
split with Manny and Sonya. Like, you know that they're long-term story building with these two, and eventually Sonya is gonna flip and turn heel. So it all plays into the story.
Okay, so where I have a problem with it is Otis rolled out from underneath the ring at the exact same time that Mandy Rose was falling off the ring. If anything, I would have had Otis out there or come out there and then had him save him.
I think they wanted like the sexual tension of her landing on him like full body to body contact.
She could have landed on him, and he is strong enough to catch her to where they
But
are
I
now.
would say, like, okay, I'm gonna say right now there's literally like that spot was probably the best spot that they could do.
I get it, but
because nobody saw it happening. When it happened, it was fucking hilarious, and it wasn't the same that they did the night before, where he did just catch her, that type of thing. I mean, I have no qualms about this spot personally.
I get why they did it.
It's very telegraphed, but
I just make it believable. That's all I'm saying.
I also think that like Sonya flying off the top into them. I'm pretty sure Otis could catch them both.
And that's what I was saying, that it added to the storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bobbit, you haven't given your thoughts on anything. I know you've been giving us the ratings, but what are your thoughts so far?
I like the women's Rumble. Well, the only thing I didn't like, there's why I like the Santina spot, because I thought it was fucking hilarious and I didn't expect that to happen. But as far as Bayley Lacey Evans goes, it wasn't the best match of the card, but it wasn't complete dog shit, if that makes sense.
It was the worst match on the card. Well, no, there's a worse match.
Wait, you didn't expect the fucking Santina thing? You predicted the fucking Santina thing.
Yeah, you did.
Dude,
I was like, holy
said
shit.
That as a joke.
No, dude, like that entire time, like Bobbit literally predicted 3 things going the way that they did.
He predicted
and
2.
I was like,
he
holy
predicted
shit,
2.
Bobbit.
He predicted 2.
I was like, holy shit, Bobbit's fucking right. Like, what the fuck?
Okay. What's the next match, Bobbit? Or what? No. Hold on. Give me the Lacey Evans Bayley rating. Right up.
1.5.
Yes, because it was fucking garbage. I give it 0.5.
It was terrible. I would have probably given it a 1. It was terrible. It had potential to be a 2.5-star match, but it fucking failed horribly.
I mean, there's multiple things that were wrong with this going into it, but I agree with you. It did have that was probably the zenith of that match would be 2.5.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't going to be a 4-star match. I hate to say this, I don't think you'll ever see a woman's 4-star, 5-star match.
NXT happened in NXT.
NXT's had them.
NXT, yeah, but you'll never get that from me, ever.
I thought the fucking match. What was it was like a Iron Woman match or something. What was that really good match between Sasha Banks?
That was the Iron Woman match.
Sasha and Bailey, that was the Iron Woman, yeah.
NXT
that match was solid, really solid, yeah.
It was the very first
I mean,
Iron
to
Woman
get a
match
5-star, I would give it a 4.5, not a 5.
I
but
wouldn't even give it that. But anyway, that's true. I'm a very hard grader.
All right, moving on. We got to get blast through this bad boy.
Yep. What's next?
The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan.
This is the worst match on the card.
10 stars.
Okay.
10 stars, sure.
I will say this.
If you like shit.
Thank God they didn't do the red light.
I will say this
thank fucking God.
Has been one of the best Fiend matches.
Because we could see it?
Okay.
We could see it?
Here is why I disagree with everything that you are saying, and I'm going to tell you why. So now the Fiend should never, ever, ever, ever lose the title. Because they have built up the Fiend with the red light as the only reason, and they've said it. The only reason that he is invincible.
I never even believed the whole red light thing because
But they said
I've never heard it on live television.
I think the only reason why they didn't use the red light with this one was because of the strap, and you wouldn't really be able to see the strap with the red light.
The strap didn't have nothing to do with the match. It just was used as a fucking...
it was used as a weapon.
It was probably like 90% of the match was strap. It was beating up the whole fucking time. But
I had an issue going into this match, right away. Like, going into the match before it even started, I had an issue because... and we talked about this last week, like before the Rumble even went on, this is not what a strap match is supposed to be. Strap match, the rules for strap match is the first person to touch all 4 corners of the ring is the winner. It's not supposed to be...
Or stopped listening to that a while ago.
But I mean, then change the official rules because the official rules were never changed. And they're trying to tell us that, this is a strap match. They can't leave each other, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Then change the official rules because otherwise you're making yourself out to be a fucking fool because this isn't what a strap match is.
I think I just like the fact that the Fiend always has to be in some sort of gimmick match. The next match will be a cage match. At WrestleMania, he'll be in the Punjabi prison.
Oh my God.
Like, for fuck's sake, he's always got to have... Like, he's a gimmick. Why does he always need a gimmick match? And I understand every now and then doing a gimmick match. Look at Undertaker. Undertaker wrestled a bunch of regular matches, but he also wrestled Buried Alive, casket matches. But he only did that seldomly, and he only really did most of that at WrestleMania or a pay-per-view that was named around that fucking match. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he wrestled a bunch of regular matches. The Fiend does not wrestle regular matches ever.
Sure.
The issue that I took with this match especially was the fact that it didn't put an end to the storyline at all. Like, if anything, it just fueled the storyline even more. Because the Yes Movement was still going very strong when it was over. So I have a feeling this isn't the last that we've seen of Daniel Bryan
I don't believe
Bray Wyatt.
I don't believe anybody can beat Bray Wyatt. At this point in time, they have created... They've really realistically written themselves into a corner with Bray Wyatt. As soon as they made fucking Seth Rollins basically kill him in the middle of the ring.
Mm-hmm. So all you people like Fiend, eat that for a minute. Just sit on that. Just let that soak in.
You have to shoot him in the head with the shotgun and blow his fucking brains out.
Oh, okay. No, here's the thing. I don't mind the Fiend character. I just think that they misbooked him from the very beginning. From the very get-go, they just fucked it all up.
Well, they had something that they created and they fostered over time. Like, they built up over 6 months, 8 months, and then all of a sudden it's like, now that we built this character, how's the fastest way to kill him?
Well, they did that,
and that's exactly what they fucking did.
Put the title on him. That's how you kill him. So anyway,
Yeah,
and
that was the mistake from the very beginning, was putting the title on him right away, because now it's like you literally cannot have him lose. And yeah, it's making him look strong or whatever if you say that, but the thing is he's killing how many other characters along the way.
but he's only had
It's
he
also
only
making
had
it
only
boring.
had 2 matches prior to winning the title. He's only had 4 matches. The Fiend has only had 4 matches. No, he's only had 1 other match since then.
Why he has to have gimmick matches is because he's boring. It's not believable for him to
I'm not
ever
even
lose.
talking about gimmick matches.
Fucking
I'm not
runs a tractor trailer over his head at this point in time, and then what do you do with that?
And I'm not even talking about gimmick matches. I'm just talking about matches in general. He's only had 3 matches as the Fiend. He's had 1 match as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
He hasn't fucking dominated anybody.
Yeah, his title reign is not worth even mentioning. He'd be better without a title and just terrorizing the roster.
That's exactly what he should do.
That's what they should have done with him from the very beginning.
We said for a long time that's what we were all in agreement on it. Anyways, that is what it is. I don't think this was the worst match. I think the Bailey and fucking Lacey Evans match was worse than this.
Yes, but anyway, Bob, what did you give? What did Meltzer?
3.5. Is it right?
4 stars.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck.
Dave Meltzer.
A strap match, a fucking strap match. So you take the strap out of it. Is this a 4-star match?
Literally,
Daniel Bryan can wrestle
only-
a fucking pile of potatoes and still get
I
a
was just
2-star
gonna
match.
say, the only reason why this match was even remotely watchable was because Daniel Bryan can sell like nobody I've ever seen. So that was all Daniel Bryan. So basically, out of those 4 stars, 3.75 of those stars should belong to Daniel Bryan.
So what that's
And
telling
I-
me is the Fiend sucks.
Yes.
Mhm.
I also agree with that.
All right. So the next match,
Asuka versus Becky.
this match is terrible. I didn't like the way it finished.
What a missed opportunity.
They had
That's
a
all I'm
real
gonna
good
say.
opportunity to tell a fucking story here, and they fucking failed. And I don't fucking
I
care.
would have let
if-
these two
and
beat
it-
the living fuck out of each other.
Yes, it all comes back to fucking Becky. They have an opportunity to tell an even bigger story with Becky. Make her character that much more fucking over by having her lose. Is it
This
that big of a fucking
And-
deal for fucking Becky to have the title?
But
It's money. It's a money thing.
it would have made the most fucking sense out of anything, because could have been turned into a long-term story because the whole thing was Becky had never beaten Asuka. Make Becky lose, put the title on Asuka, and then make a long-term story about Becky chasing Asuka to get this title, culminating at WrestleMania, where Becky can have her WrestleMania moment again. Like, it doesn't take a fucking genius to figure this
I
out.
don't want Becky to have her WrestleMania moment, though. She already
Well,
had
I
it.
mean, you know what I'm saying,
No,
though.
she
It's
should
like,
not win the title back.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
What I would have done is I would have had this be, because the build was there enough for it to be like a no holds barred or something like that, but also have fucking Kairi Sane banned from ringside. And then I would have had this be that match where Asuka, like, through fuckery, Asuka beats her through assistance from either an unknown source or a source that is known. I mean, you could try to do Io Shirai, or you could bring Paige back in some fucking manner. You could just have someone in fucking a black suit come out and beat the shit out of her at some point in time. Just make her lose for a reason outside of Asuka beating her.
Yep.
And use that storyline to propel into WrestleMania, because that is the money storyline. The money storyline was, this is the person she can't beat, and even though she's on the brink of beating her, she can't beat her now because of other means. Now you don't have a money storyline going to WrestleMania with Becky Lynch. You really don't.
No, you got Charlotte, and that's it.
Yeah, that's not a money storyline at all.
Because that's what everybody wants to fucking see for some fucking reason. And I don't know who wants to see it. I know who wants to see it. It's those fucking goddamn fucking lucid fucking fans that think that it's fucking everything revolves around these 4 fucking women. That's all the fucking women's revolution is fucking Becky, Sasha, Bailey, and fucking Charlotte. That's it. Everybody else is just there for banta fodder.
Yep.
That's what it is. I will say this: Naomi looks like that she actually stood in a wind tunnel and got electrocuted at the same.
I love her. I love her new
I
look.
hated her fucking
I
hair. Good God.
Absolutely love it. Like every time her hair was bouncing, I was like, "Yeah, you go, girl."
No, she
I
looked
love
like
it.
She looked like
I like Naomi. I don't mind her new look or anything like that.
I
I'd
love
love
it. It's
to see at
fantastic.
WrestleMania just a downright beat up bloody women's match.
me too.
Something we haven't seen.
And hopefully
Something that's deserved
Becky's
to be
in the
seen.
middle of it. And she's the one that's bloodied and beaten. That's all. I just do not
Oh
care
my
about
God.
Like
fucking
Shawn
Becky.
Michaels versus Triple H. That type of bloody beat up.
Yep.
Anyways, what was the Meltzer rating?
Yes, Bobby.
Tokyo Dome Meltzer race at 3.5 stars.
Of course, because it's fucking Becky. You fucking Christ. Get the fuck out of here. And you can't sit there and if Dave Meltzer wanted to fucking tweet me and say I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, Dave Meltzer's a fucking.
Personally, I would have rated it 3
Being
stars.
very-
I would have
just
rated
because the
this
fucking
match
finish.
sucked. This match was terrible.
It was a very safe, prototypical Becky Lynch match.
Yep.
So there's nothing
Wasn't
to
that great?
write home about. This is a 2-star
Yep.
for me.
Yep.
Wasn't the worst, but it definitely was not the best.
Yep. I can agree. What is the next match? Trek, what about you? Sorry, hold on. Trek, what about you?
It wasn't awful, but I felt like they were moving in quicksand half the time. It was just like slow as shit.
Yeah,
And it's like,
everything
but there-
was just whatever.
And I do want to say this about Naomi when she was on SmackDown, when she came out with that thing on her head. I thought it was like the New Year's ball fell off and fell on her head.
Well, who cares? So anyway,
Well, that was on Raw, but no, okay. Hold on, before we move forward, I have to Trek you fucking 100%. I don't know what's up with WWE these days. They want to put on 20-minute matches for everybody, but the wrestlers are like fucking exhausted
Yeah.
looking all the time.
yeah,
I can't stand it. Like watch New Japan, watch AEW, and then watch WWE and see like what the fuck. The match starts and within 3 minutes, that's like I can't get up. I'm fucking done. I don't know how I even made it out here. Like it's a theme throughout, and this started back at like Survivor Series, or before that. This started at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The fucking slow down bullshit.
yep.
We're gonna do 20-minute matches, but for at least 5 minutes, the people are just gonna lie on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they do is slow as fuck. They have tiny spurts of moments, but they can't continuously keep up actual activity.
Yep.
The only entertaining part of the match was when, I'm sorry, but Becky kicked the mist out of Asuka.
It didn't make any sense to me. She'd been hit like in her fucking gut in that match, and that's when the fucking mist comes. Get the fuck out of here. But that's all I got to say. About that. What's next, Bob?
The main event, the Men's Royal Rumble.
I had
disagree with the
problems
winner.
this.
I will say that.
I had problems with the way that it started. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand it, but I got bored after a while.
I
I
did
think
not
it
mind
lasted
how
a
it
bit
started.
too long. The idea of Brock Lesnar being the big dog and eliminating everybody as they came in and shit like that.
Had to happen.
I think that was clever to like build him back up to be strong, but it lasted probably 3 eliminations too long before he got eliminated.
I think they
I
did
think
it
he
just to
was great.
tie Kane to make him that much more legitimate because back then in the day, Kane was unstoppable.
But I also feel like, in a sense, like both Rumbles were booked with 15 people in mind, the men's
Yeah.
and the women. So we had a lot of like one person dominating for the first 15,
Mhm.
and it kind of like I hate the fact that if I'm going to book a men's and women's Rumble, they're going to be as different as possible from each other, and they were not. They were very similarly booked. I'm pretty sure the same people booked both.
I mean, I agree with Basement. Like, I understand completely why they did what they did with Brock. but I just felt like it lasted a little bit too long.
Well,
I think
that's-
I'm also bored of the idea because it happened in the Women's Rumble. If it didn't happen in the Women's Rumble, if Bianca Belair didn't eliminate 8 or 9 people, I don't think we would have been as tired of it in the Men's
Actually, I
Rumble.
think she eliminated like 11 or 12 people.
She eliminated a fucking lot of people. That's
Yeah.
all I know.
all right. So
Well, she was
Go ahead.
the second one in, but
I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say this: people need to stop hating on Brock Lesnar. I have been
Yeah,
hearing.
I've
Here
always
is
been a
the
lover.
thing. Here is the thing. That guy legit sold everything that fucking Drew McIntyre did to him.
Oh yeah, he made Drew McIntyre a star
He
because the
legit
company
sold
hasn't done it. He did it.
everything Keith Lee did to him.
Mhm.
So for everybody to sit there and say that Brock Lesnar doesn't give a shit can fuck off.
Well,
Because
and you know
he
the
does
thing is,
care.
those were some of the biggest pops of the Rumble. Like when Keith Lee came out, the entire crowd went fucking nuts. You know, because you knew that it was two huge behemoths going to be squaring off in the ring together, and Keith Lee was the. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Keith Lee was the one person that he couldn't eliminate. Like that's when it stopped.
Well, he didn't eventually eliminate him and somebody else going at it together.
Yeah, but I mean, like right
But
away.
like the one-on-one thing, yeah, that's where it stopped. I mean, Brock Lesnar, like, he's booked a certain way, and that's what people hate. But you ever come at me and say he doesn't know how to wrestle or he doesn't know how to build future stars, and that's complete bullshit. Because this guy will sell his fucking ass off for somebody if he's told to do so. Drew McIntyre hits him with the Claymore kick. The guy goes fucking flying 8 feet in the air over the fucking ring apron and is like dead on the ground for like 10 hours.
Yeah, he laid on the ground for a good three. I'd even go further. Okay, so Heather says it was 2 minutes.
Yeah,
But-
he was on the ground for a while, and then he got up and he's like, "What the fuck happened? Where am
Yep.
I?"
Now,
but
we
he did what the company didn't do, and he built a star out of Drew McIntyre, where the company has fucking shit their pants for months with that guy,
Okay,
only now deciding to do it.
so my thing is with I didn't agree with him winning. I'm not going to shit on him winning because it was a good moment. I hate to say this. I think Roman Reigns should have won because who else was going to win?
I agree with you.
So they had to go with either, and people were not, and I think they made a change in the middle because as soon as Roman Reigns eliminated, I don't remember who he eliminated, Edge, which we'll talk about.
Well, I mean, everybody's
Hold
gonna
on.
boo when he eliminates Edge.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I'm going to talk about that in a minute. When he eliminated
Hold on.
him,
I'll get back to that afterward.
it's coming like real quick. When he eliminated him, people were starting to boo Roman again, which is
Well, yeah,
why
because it's
What
Edge.
what dumbass booked that shit?
I don't know.
Why is you want to build Roman Reigns back up? Why is he eliminating someone that everybody would fucking care about?
Well,
It
you knew
makes
Baron
literally no
Corbin. You knew
sense.
Baron Corbin was going to eliminate Matt Riddle because Baron Corbin was going to, and I said it. Baron Corbin is going to eliminate somebody that people don't want Baron Corbin to eliminate, but he's going to eliminate them because that is going to get heel heat on him, which it did. He
Mhm.
got fucking booed. And
Which is why I say, why didn't they have Baron Corbin?
I mean, as stupid as
Eliminate
it
Edge.
sounds, I would have picked Undertaker to win this Royal Rumble.
What?
Yeah, Undertaker versus The Fiend at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. Not telling me you want to see that?
I mean, I do want to see that, but fucking The
Mm.
Undertaker, get out of
All
here
right.
with The Undertaker.
Well, I mean, Roman Reigns versus The Fiend. Whoever wins the Rumble is going to get the title shot. But the title shot was already set in stone as soon as Drew McIntyre eliminated Brock Lesnar. So you only really have the other title to go with.
let's
Mhm.
And that's owned by The Fiend. So who would face The Fiend? Who would you pick
Roman.
to face The Fiend? Do you want to see that? Do you really
I don't want
wanna
to see it
that?
at all, but that would have been who if like.
Do you
it
think
was
that's a
SmackDown
bigger
star.
seller than Undertaker versus The Fiend?
No,
money
it's
wise.
not
No.
time. It's not time for Undertaker versus The Fiend
What the
yet.
fuck? The guy's like 800 years old. When's
They
it gonna
did
be
it already.
time?
You gotta wait until he's all geriatric and he's coming out and fucking.
Well,
know.
I mean, that was
So-
like 6 years ago.
Let's talk about it. Everybody said it was the moment of the Rumble.
Yes.
I hated it.
Oh my God! Of course you would.
No, here's why. Here's why. I love Edge. I've said it numerous fucking times. But is he coming back full time?
I don't need him back full time.
I don't need him back full time either.
Answer my question. Is he coming back full time?
No, he's not coming back full time. But
I hope
don't
not.
want to fucking see him in the Rumble. Sorry, I do not
don't
care.
agree with that.
Okay, but
We have
I
always
understand
talked.
what you're
We
saying.
have always talked about the Rumble being for people that stars need to be built. But
Well, I
yet, when
understand-
somebody fucking shows up at that spot, it's almost like the Santino Marella. I'm sorry, it's like the Santino Marella spot.
Oh my God! No, you did not.
I think they needed to
Why?
offset. I think they
Okay.
needed to offset a returning legend with somebody that's going to be a big name in the business moving forward.
Well,
now, if
and-
they had Killer Cross enter
Exactly.
early and then Edge enter later, that would be fucking like. But for me, I'm okay with it because it opens doors to feuds I'd like to have seen. Edge has been
Well,
away for so long, and there's so many people that's joined the
I mean-
company. That's what I want to see. So
I
I
mean,
mean,
look at-
I can't shit on it.
Look at
I
the
did,
feud that it's
and I
set
will.
up. Look at the feud that it's set up. It's set up Randy versus fucking Edge, which is already turning into an amazing storyline.
An
So,
amazing
Yeah.
storyline that took a fucking 10-year hiatus. They were telling that story before Edge got hurt.
who cares
okay,
if they
but,
go
like,
back
it
to it?
can't-
Like it's a storyline that they know is not going to
if
fail.
even if they didn't have as much history as they do,
Here,
the way that it was executed in the ring on Raw was fucking phenomenal.
I'm not
gonna
You
shit
haven't
on-
seen like anything like
I'm
that
not
done
going
in
to
a
shit
long
on what
time.
happened on Raw. I'm not going to shit. I will say I've got something to fucking say about that too, but I will not shit on that spot. I will not shit
Well,
on
we'll
that
get to
spot.
it. We'll get to it in 10 seconds. But yeah, I like the Edge. I liked Edge coming back, though I don't think like a lot of people like. I mean, this is where the difference is. I saw on Twitter somebody comparing Edge versus AJ Styles. Which one was the bigger entrant in Royal Rumble? For me, it was AJ Styles. A lot of people would say Edge, but
for me, it was Edge just because it was like one of my favorites coming back, so it was a bigger pop, and mainly because I had no idea who AJ Styles was when he first came, because I wasn't watching New Japan at that time.
I love the AJ Styles thing because it was something that a lot of people thought would never happen.
Yep.
And it opened the doorway not just for people, a small section of people he could fight. He was coming in there as a talent that was going to be day in, day out, part of the roster, and also opening a huge door of people that nobody ever thought this guy would fight. And they also treated it really right.
And
After him coming
I understand why people want to see Edge. I love Edge. I always have liked Edge.
I mean,
I've said-
he looks old facially, but like the guy's in the best
He
shape
even
of his
said that
life.
on Monday.
You can tell.
Okay, so my thing is we always bitch about Nostalgia X taking spots.
Yeah, but Edge is still.
No. Don't
do it me because I have just as much right to talk on here as you.
No,
do,
I know you do, but I wasn't done. I do not care who it is. He's taking a spot away from a star that can be built. And that is the problem that I have. I don't care who it fucking is. I don't care if it's Stone Cold Steve Austin and he can come back for one more match.
Yeah, but the stars
But this
that
isn't
are
I
one
get
more
that.
match.
There's these and then a bunch of people. I get that.
the stars that could be built aren't being built.
That's the problem
Well,
because they're
okay.
so afraid to try to build new fucking stars. I'm not shitting on Edge here. I'm shitting on WWE.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I would probably agree with you if this was just a one and done. But this isn't just a one and done. Yeah, he's supposed to be part-time.
Okay, then I
I
will
get
go
that, but like there's still room for a lot of matches, and he
I
can
will-
actually help
I will,
build those stars that need to be built.
I will go
When I
one
hear
further.
Edge being-
I will go one further then. I don't want to hear fucking people bitching about fucking Brock Lesnar. Period. Bottom
the
fucking
thing is,
line.
I think Edge being part time is going to be much more available and accessible than Brock Lesnar.
I
I
understand.
think his part time is going to be similar to Randy Orton, where he just disappears for like 3 months and then comes back.
I like.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I like him being part time just because he's not gonna get super worn out, and you're not gonna start seeing what happens to a lot of stars when they come back. You know, the fatigue setting in and all that stuff. And we're not going to get sick of seeing him.
And you know me, man. I don't shit on Brock Lesnar being part time. I think it's a fucking great idea. I think it's always been a great. I think it's always been a great idea, personally. And I think having like accessibility to superstars, whether they're part time is, in my opinion, a great thing.
I'm not really pissed off that Edge is back. I'm not really pissed off that Edge is back. But what I am pissed off about, Heather, don't fucking roll your guys. What I am pissed off about is that people are just like, well, Brock Lesnar's this, Brock Lesnar's that. That's why I don't want him there. Well, then why do you want Edge there? It's the same fucking thing. And I don't care. You can sit here and try and sugarcoat it. It's the same fucking thing.
I guess there's nothing that's actually been physically shown to people to say Edge is not going to be there week in, week out.
Well,
because he's not a championship holder, and he's coming off of a career-ending injury, people aren't going to expect it, and they'll have more leeway. Brock Lesnar didn't come off a career-ending injury. Diverticulitis could have been. But he's also the championship.
That's part of the reason why.
Yeah. But I mean, he's the champion. The thing is, I have no idea. I don't understand people that say Brock Lesnar should be there every night, because the only reason he's as important as he is because he's not there all the fucking time. And I think most of the wrestlers shouldn't be there all the fucking time. I don't want to see Roman Reigns wrestle every week or Seth Rollins. They can have backstage segments if they want to. I'm a fan of fucking wrestling taking a hiatus and fucking going away for 3 months and then coming back with built-up storylines that work for 9 months and then going away for 3 months.
So
I'd rather have the product be good than be there all the time.
So here we're going to talk about that segment. People on fucking, and I it's not even just Twitter. It's just people in general. People, and it is mostly people on Twitter saying, "Oh, that is disrespectful. Ed should not have. Shame on you, Vince McMahon, for allowing that to fucking happen."
Okay, these are the people that you can't listen to. I'm telling you right now. There's no point.
So what? Everybody just should come up and shake Edge's fucking hand?
But hold on a second. The funniest part about this is people are losing their shit. And when Randy Orton did that concerto, if you actually watch what happened, the chairs never came anywhere close to fucking Edge's head.
That's how concertos are done.
Yeah,
that's why he did that.
The chairs are like the tips of the chairs are what touch when you do a concerto. Like it doesn't hit the head.
They put Edge in the ring with some a guy, Randy Orton, that knows how to wrestle expertly. This guy is a master of his craft. He is not going to fuck up a fake chair shot. All these, like, anytime they hit somebody and any industry for the most part, when they're lying on the ground with a chair, they're going to hit the tip of the chair on the mat and the chair is going to bend and it's going to look brutal, but realistically you hardly get a hit at all. So it is what it is. It's just
also, and I want to say this, it's not even just Randy Orton, it's Edge. If Edge didn't think that he could do it, he would have said, no, I prefer not to do that. I think Edge has every right to say that. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure fucking Vince McMahon would say,
oh, yeah, they wouldn't go ahead without Edge and the doctor saying, okay. They're just not going to. The lawsuit's ridiculous.
Well, and okay, here's the thing, too. Not only did the concerto not hit the head, because they don't, but from what I understand, and this is just what I read in places, it was actually, Randy Orton was actually supposed to actually hit Edge in the head with the chair. You know how, like, he does that thing where he puts the chair on top of somebody's head and then, like, stomps on it?
That's what he was going to do.
That's what he was supposed to do, but he changed it up and he decided to do the concerto instead in order to eliminate the possibility of Edge actually getting hurt. So people out there that are going, oh my God, me, fuck off, and you don't know shit about wrestling. If you think that a concerto actually hurts somebody, you don't know shit about wrestling.
I will tell you right now, you want to watch a masterclass in wrestling and psychology in wrestling and storytelling, you watch that segment. Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely one of the best things I've seen in wrestling in years. From Edge's all of the emotions he told on his face, not only from being back, but from being confronted by someone he deemed a friend, to being turned on, to then everything Randy Orton did after that.
Yep.
He was not wanting to do what he did, but he did it, and he like the I guess the physical acting he did in the ring. This is the biggest selling point for Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
He is probably the best physical actor on the roster.
And like this
I
is a
agree.
big thing that the main superstars, like the newer superstars on Raw and SmackDown, are missing. So these guys
They
like
don't get it.
this is a chance for them to sit back and watch and back and study and see how it is done, because like this is one of the things. This is one of the benefits to Edge being back. 'Cause not that Edge is the only person that can teach these people how to, because obviously that's not the case. But with Edge being back and you have him paired with Randy and they have this amazing history and chemistry and they can feed off of each other, it's a better way to set up for these guys to see how it is done.
A lot of modern day wrestlers don't get the nuance, and that's what's missing.
And a lot of wrestlers just don't have chemistry like those two have.
Mm-hmm.
They have this unbeatable chemistry,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, you look at The Rock, you look at Stone Cold, and all these guys had moments where they sold things both physically and verbally in the ring. And nowadays you get the selling verbally, but physically it's like they're all wooden fucking statues half the time.
They turn into Gato with the heart punch from fucking Coda.
Or it's that where it's ridiculous.
I still have that pinned to my fucking Twitter.
But yeah, I would say like that Raw segment alone just made Raw. It was one of the best segments I've seen in years in terms of story building, and I'm excited to see their match. Though I'm not excited to see the match itself will be what it is, but the storytelling and the in-ring psychology is going to trump anything. I wish this was happening at WrestleMania, not at Elimination Chamber, which I believe it will.
Wait. Edge vs. Orton's taking place at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think they're gonna hold.
Oh, it's been announced, so they're just gonna like slow build it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm like, this is like what 69 days away. That's a slow fucking build.
Yeah, but they did that with Shawn Michaels too and Triple H when he first attacked Shawn.
Yes. Well, I hope to God then. Man, this is gonna be that's number one for WrestleMania. That's gonna be fucking great. Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. That's gonna be good. I don't know what else is happening.
Rating for the Rumble?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 4 stars. He's gonna give it
4.25.
It was one of the better Rumbles, but it is a Rumble, so I'd give it about a 3.75.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I hated it at first because of how it was working out. I'm like, it's basically a gauntlet match with Brock Lesnar.
Right.
But after everything that transpired during it and it ended, I was like, you know what, that was actually one of the better Rumbles. I know it had its like moments, but it was definitely one of the better Rumbles.
I have they announced that? I don't know if anybody heard me.
I thought that with
it
Edge
hasn't been announced, but it was WrestleVote said it on Twitter.
Okay, well, WrestleVotes can suck my dick.
I thought
pretty good with that stuff though.
I don't give a shit.
I thought that I had heard them say that it was going to be at Elimination Chamber.
No,
they haven't said anything,
okay,
but like literally a 60-day
That's-
hiatus until this match happens.
I don't.
That's a long fucking time for WWE.
I wouldn't actually announce. Number one, I wouldn't announce that they're having a match at anywhere until finally Edge is just fed up with fucking Randy Orton's bullshit, and he says, "Me, you, one time."
Well, if it was me, next Raw, I would just show highlights of it. The Raw after Edge speaks out.
Yeah.
The Raw after Orton speaks out. The Raw after you have verbal dispute with the two where they can't touch each other.
Mm-hmm.
Raw after contract signing. You know, you can spread it over the amount of time.
Spread it out, yeah.
I think what they're going to do is have Orton be one of the contenders in the Elimination Chamber. Edge screws him out of it, and that's where we start.
I'm telling you, what they should do for the Elimination Chamber is put the U.S. title on the line. And fuck that. Because we already know who's fighting for the championships.
They
I don't
won't
want
do
to see.
that, though, because they won't pull it off of
Okay, hold
Andrade.
on. We're getting to that. Damn it. No. Damn. So he gave the Royal Rumble a 4.25.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 3.75. I
wouldn't
thought it
even-
was a decent Rumble.
Rumble is a Rumble. Like I said, I don't rate them.
It's a hard one. It's hard to rate a one-on-one match and then be like, and I'm gonna rate the Rumble in the same categories because it is kind of like, you know, surprises and who eliminates who and what they're building.
Yeah.
The Rumble is very much a match that's just used as a precursor to other matches.
So, right. Go ahead.
Once we get done with the Rumble, there's something I need. We need to talk about.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So, I'm just kidding. So, Braun Strowman is now the IC champion.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go from there? I just want
I
to
mean,
throw that out there.
I would have him hold it for a while, and then maybe after a while, maybe have one of the bigger guys come up, like Big E or even Rusev, somebody like that. It's got to be a bigger guy that you could.
I get this feeling it's gonna be Sheamus.
Sheamus would be, because Sheamus is. I mean,
not
Braun
a small
is.
guy. He's 270 pounds.
No, I mean, Braun is a lot bigger than him, but still.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Sheamus would be a good one, but it's got to be another big guy, man. Because if you put like fucking Rey Mysterio in there against Braun Strowman and have Rey Mysterio win, fuck off.
I'm with you. I just thrown that out there as one of the big things. Braun Strowman beat Shinsuke for the title. Shinsuke he's been one of those that I think he's another one like Vince or Triple H told, and it's a failure on WWE's part. I said part that Shinsuke would never ever be. They wanted to get that WrestleMania moment with AJ Styles because it was well known throughout the wrestling world, them two at fucking Wrestle Kingdom 10. What happened? But that he was never ever going to be pushed to be a world champion. He was going to be pushed to that spot,
mid-card level.
But he was going to be pushed to he's going to be in the main event or a main eventer at some point. But he was never going to. He was there to put people over.
Shinsuke, I believe, he got pushed up to, he got propelled up to that main event level at first because, like you said, they were ultimately going for, AJ versus Shinsuke. But then I think that he's kind of, I know people are probably going to hate me for saying this, but I think that he's where he should be right now as far as mid-card level, because he's not exactly a young guy anymore. And on top of that, he has a lot of knowledge that he can pass on to these younger guys. So mid-card is perfect for him.
I'm going to defend Gina on this, and I'm going to tell you why. In New Japan, yes, he was an IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, but his best runs were as the Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm.
So him being in the mid-card is way better than him being at the top. That's what I'm telling you. And I love Shinsuke. I think Shinsuke is fantastic. I love his strong style. He's why I love New Japan.
See, the thing is, Shinsuke lost some luster for me because he doesn't really do the strong style like he used to anymore, like when he was back in NXT.
No, he does not.
And that lost quite a bit of luster for me because I feel like if you're going to be strong style and you're going to come over to WWE, then you need to keep your strong style. And I've seen this with so many different wrestlers that have come from New Japan. Carl Anderson, fucking Luke Gallows, even AJ Styles, Hideo Itami when he was over, Kenta now, they all lost their strong style. And Hideo Itami, ultimately, it ended up with him looking like a freaking complete pussy.
Well,
when in fact you see him as Kenta now and he's back to the strong style.
Hideo Itami, his push got stopped because he kept getting hurt.
Twice.
It had nothing to do with his strong style because Triple H he understands, and this is the thing. This is where WWE, I don't understand why.
Hmm.
Triple H seems to understand that wrestling is more than the entertainment value. He understands that it is entertainment because fucking A, look at what he did in fucking WWE for years. He was more of an entertainer than he was a wrestler. But he has a mind for the business to where the wrestling is actually what puts butts in the fucking seats.
I will say like Triple A. Okay, like right now when I look at wrestling, Vince McMahon is like 75-25 entertainment, and Triple H is the exact opposite. Neither of them are in the sweet spot.
No.
And I will say Triple H and NXT, they had moments of being in the sweet spot, of being entertaining at the same time as being expert wrestling. But more recently than not, they've really been a lot of wrestling, and a lot of wrestling that's a bit too serious at times.
Well, I'm gonna say this, like, just with how Shinsuke is now. Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn was one of my favorite matches in NXT
Never
history.
see it again.
If they were to do Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura now, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it, and that hurts me because again, that was one of my favorite matches. But I know that they're not going to let them go the way that they went in NXT.
This is why I look at people like Shinsuke Nakamura, specifically. I don't want him to be in WWE. I feel like it's a waste of his talents. Sami Zayn, now the way they're using him, it's a waste of his talents too. But like he has a much higher ceiling. Shinsuke Nakamura at this point in time is on the precipice of being forgotten for me. He lost the title. The only reason I see him is because he's attached to Cesaro and Sami Zayn. Otherwise, I couldn't give a literal fuck about the guy.
Right. I get what you're saying, and I can't disagree with it. But I mean, Shinsuke is not going anywhere because he is happy where he is at. He has said this much.
I feel like
he moved all of his family over to US too.
Yeah, he's going to be like a Cesaro type guy, a guy that just works a lot and works good matches with a bunch of the younger talent and other talents, and that's him.
You want to see a guy that I believe is misused? It's Cesaro. Like, I understand why they use him the way that he is, but the fact that he has never been, the fact that that guy has never been a world champion.
The thing is, Cesaro's best chance was in a tag team.
I gotta disagree. For a while there, he was doing great on his own.
He sucks on the mic. He
does suck on the mic, but I mean, just his wrestling. And again, this is the difference between
he would be a
WWE and a lot of other.
He would be a perfect champion for you. He would be a perfect champion for you. You don't have.
Yes,
exactly.
That's the difference, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think he's one of the fucking best in-ring competitors that WWE has.
One of the strongest men on the roster.
You can ask literally anybody that actually Corey Graves has said it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Triple H has said it right now. Probably the best in-ring performer that we have is Cesaro. Is Cesaro worthy of a championship? Absolutely. But he'll never win one because he cannot talk. He can talk.
True.
He can talk.
Cesaro's I don't know, he's in his mid-30s, I believe. But and Cesaro's another one of those guys, like he's just a company guy, like he enjoys building up these younger guys and
that's why
teaching them the ropes.
They've had him lose to a fucking guy that would have been a jobber.
I do feel like if Cesaro was 30 years old and in NXT, the sky's the limit for this guy.
Yes.
Because they would have developed his actual talking skills. Now he's probably like 36 or 37 or something like that. He's a workhorse, and they use him exactly like he should be used.
I agree. Anybody else got anything about the IC title or what we were talking about?
They should have never replaced the IC title. I still stand by that.
Say it again.
They should have never replaced the IC title.
Yeah, the white title was better.
But But here's the thing: that thing had 2 lives anyway. That it was with the Ultimate Warrior, and they've shown pictures of it, and then they retired it, and then Cody brought it back. So it had more lives than the usual title would, because usually after you get
But
rid of
it was senseless to replace it. It didn't like it's the one title the fans didn't care about getting replaced. So like that
honestly,
just shows the disconnect WWE has with its fan base.
I think I know why they replaced it, but you know,
Go ahead.
I personally, you guys are gonna call me out as being bullshit on this one, but I personally think that they replaced it in order to because it had Cody Rhodes' name
Yeah, I don't.
around it.
Cody just felt that.
I wouldn't. I mean, personally, I mean, the belt had enough prestige to stick around. It was like one of the better looking titles that they had, so it doesn't really make sense to me to replace it. But hey, what do I know? WWE fired fucking half their fucking staff.
Yeah, they fired their staff.
Well, they fired George Barrios because he was talking out of his ass.
No. They hit us. They hit some losses on the stock
Well,
market.
the reason they fired George Barrios. Go ahead, JP.
Gonna say they started making their losses once they fired the co-presidents.
Well, he got fired.
I wanted to talk about that.
Well, hold on. One fucking person at a time. Go ahead.
He got fired because someone asked him in an interview how the XFL was going to be. He's like, your XFL is going to be trash, and I'll tell you why. And he mouthed off in an interview. You could say that, Surf's Up, but that's going over the line. He had no right to say that. I don't care if somebody's like, he was drunk. It's like, he can be drunk all he wants. You don't have the right to go shit on the product that you're backing.
But who did he say that to, though? Did he say it publicly?
Yes.
Did he? Okay.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I thought like from what I've read, the reports of the losses, like year-end losses, were why they got fired.
That could be. But I'm talking about this. I thought you were talking about the stock market went down.
Yeah, they exactly. Like, but that's I'm pretty sure that's what I thought they got fired for.
Right. That could be
instead of them being fired and that being the response. I think it might go hand in hand. I think the writing was on the wall for a change to happen in WWE.
It was because it's content. It's all about content, and I cannot disagree with what Vince Russo said.
What did he say?
He actually tweeted out that it's all about the content. It's in regards to the firings. It's all about the content. The content, yes, you have other avenues to make money, but it's what you are known for is how you will make most of your money.
Yeah, and what they're known for is right now not a good look.
So
I mean,
people are always sitting beforehand, though. People are always sitting there saying, "Well, there's an E in it. There's also a fucking W in it," and they don't focus on the W. They focus more on the E than they do the other W. Go ahead.
What's killed me is like the product is okay at best now. It's pretty shit, but it was way worse before, and nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
So to go from like being way worse to a bit better to kind of focusing on the things that matter a bit more to being like now we need to fire everybody. I don't know. I don't understand WWE, and I don't want to see them like fall into like the fucking pit of despair.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think like that's probably the best fucking thing to happen to them.
Right. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is the thing I wanted to talk about with them. I don't know if anybody else knew this. I just now read this. Apparently, those co-presidents was the backup plan for when Vince died.
Yes.
So now that they're fired, what the hell are they going to do when Vince kicks the bucket?
Who do you think?
The rest of the people will just take over.
Stephanie and Triple H will take over.
Yeah.
Well, whoever is on the board of directors will split it.
Well, Stephanie and Triple H are on the board of directors. Kevin Dunn is on the board of directors.
That other fucking guy, whatever his name is.
Kevin Dunn.
Something. Matt Riddle the third.
What?
I don't know.
There's a guy named something Riddle the third.
I don't know. But
he's the one that took over for the firings.
Oh, I don't know. But either way, I really don't think Vince doesn't have a backup plan, and I'm pretty sure he'd be like, if Vince dies, it's
If,
Triple H and
if
Stephanie. I mean, fuck else you gonna have to. Anybody that thinks that Vince really
Honestly,
didn't have a backup plan is a fucking fool because think
and if
about
it dies, it's gonna be booked the night of.
and not only that, but like I find it really hard to believe that like Triple H, Stephanie, and Shane wasn't the ones that.
Well, it's because they fired a
Taking
bunch
over
of
if he
people that
died.
were like owning a lot of the company. So if they got rid of them,
Mhm.
then it's gonna kind of it's not clear to business owners who's going to own that
right.
moving forward. But I'm sure they'll make it. I don't really. That's a non-topic for me. I'm more concerned with the fact that that's a pretty big knee-jerk reaction for a gigantic company. So
Yeah, I
hopefully
was
it changes
wondering
in the
why.
rules. They fucking suck. That's why
They
Oh,
were
is that
they
all
were
that it was? They just weren't doing their job right.
They were
they
talking
were
about
losing money.
They were
Oh,
losing
okay.
money, and now they lost even more money because their stock
Well,
is.
yeah, I was gonna say I know their stock took a
Well, their stock
fucking
took a
dump.
crash because they got fired.
Yeah,
It'll go back up when
It
they
will.
stabilize.
It
It's not really a problem. I mean, but for the most part, it's kind of odd for a company to take those kind of steps. Both people at the same time.
yeah. That's why I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know, because like usually you don't see both of the head people getting fired at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
What's next on the docket?
Andrade. Let's talk about that.
Okay, here we go.
So we all know that Andrade won the U.S. title at Royal Rumble, and then the very next night, there was rumblings that he tested positive. I shouldn't say tested positive. He failed a wellness policy test. What that is,
Yeah,
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is with those wellness policies, like I don't know, they test for like individual chemicals and what those could be contained in.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, the last time that Roman failed one, it was because he drank like some sort of an energy drink or something, and like a banned substance happened to be in the energy drink that
I
he
think he
didn't
was
know
having
of.
like
Okay.
yeah, it was
So
the same
here's
idea.
the
I don't know if
thing.
it was
We can sit here and say, well, but
I mean, it was obviously
No.
cocaine.
we
Let's
can
not kid
say that
ourselves.
well he drank he drank an energy drink. Read the fucking labels before you consume
Oh yeah,
fucking
Yeah.
anything.
Well,
If you
they
don't
have like
understand, you
nutritionists
have
and
an
stuff like
English
that, so that
speaking
falls on them.
fucking you have a person who is a fitness trainer, reads English.
That
She
that
can
falls on
fucking
them.
tell you, oh, you
shoot
better
them
not
a
drink.
text.
That falls. But the thing is that's what they have people that prepare their meals for the most part,
Well,
and that's what falls on them. But like,
and this is like a
I'm
lot of
pretty
these
sure it was
wrestlers.
cocaine off those big fake titties.
But oh god, a lot of the wrestlers, actually the majority of the wrestlers, ordered their meals and stuff like pre-prepared through like companies. You know, you'll see the wrestlers saying, "Oh, this came from this company" or whatever. Baron Corbin's a good one with his grilling stuff. But it all comes from the same company. If you have a question on something, pick up your phone, send a text message to the fucking
The thing is,
medical doctor on staff and be like, "Hey, is this
it's
okay?"
it's supplements. It's not going to be from like food you buy at the
No,
grocery
it's
store. It's the
supplements.
supplements that they get and the pill supplements that they take.
Mhm.
And all that stuff is usually prescribed by their personal trainers and stuff like that, the training staff. So if that's
And the
happening,
thing is,
that's a different story.
well, the thing is with Andrade, we don't know because nothing was ever released. So it could be a minor wellness violation, like what happened with Roman last time,
But
or it could be
you don't suspend somebody
they
for
treat them
30
all the
days.
same.
They do.
Right.
But you don't suspend somebody for literally 30 days
Yeah.
for
the
not
last
showing
As
up
long
for
as-
a test.
Okay,
the
so
last
as
time that
long
I
as they-
remember.
broken the wellness policy, at first it's 30 days regardless of what they broke it for, from my understanding.
Not true. Actually, at first it's usually anywhere between a week or 2 weeks. Roman
It's
got 30.
Oh, no way.
Roman got 30 days last time because it was his second wellness violation. I last time I remember somebody being suspended for 30 days on their first wellness violation was actually Jeff Hardy, and that was for actual drugs.
Bobby Roode. Robert Roode just got suspended for 30 days, and so did it was either Epico or
I'm
Primo.
pretty sure it's 30 days, man.
Maybe they changed it, man. I don't know.
They did change it after Benoit, they changed it real fast. I mean, they changed that shit real fast. So that Vince was threatening a while ago to say, he was threatening that if anybody did that again, did screw up the wellness policy, he was going to walk out on national television and announce whoever one was. He changed his mind fast, but he said he was still walking on TV.
Okay, here's the thing. I understand going to that level if people are violating the wellness policy as far as like with like extensive drugs. You know, I'm not talking about weed here either, because weed it's fucking legal in most states now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm talking about like
alcohol for them, I think.
Well, no, like they can drink a certain amount of alcohol as well. Like it's alcohol.
Well, they can drink whatever they want. They just can't show up to work.
Yeah.
Well, apparently you can drink as much you want if Arn Anderson's in charge is to go out to the ring.
Okay, Arn Anderson works for AEW. What the fuck are you talking?
But when he
okay, I got sorry. I thought you were talking about now. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But no, I can understand it. For more powerful drugs, you know, like if you're taking Molly's or you know you're fucking snorting cocaine, something like that, I can understand like that. But when you're talking about supplements that like for like 90% of the time don't actually hurt someone, I don't know, man.
Okay,
I don't know how I feel
don't know what or why he got suspended, because they suspended, it was either Epico or Primo got suspended because he flat out refused to come back to the country because he was overseas. They said, you got to come back and take this again because something got messed up. He goes, I'm not doing it again. So they said, okay, you're suspended for 30 days because you refused to do it. You
get suspended if you miss one too.
So if it's marijuana or alcohol, they just get charged $2,500 per positive test.
Okay.
That's it.
So here's the thing.
Fuck, man. Matt Riddle must be paying all the fucking time. Sorry.
Here's the thing. Again, with the supplement shit, they give you a list of supplements that you cannot take.
It's huge. I just went through it.
And I understand that. It doesn't matter. Read. I don't care.
Yep.
You are in the business of getting paid a lot of fucking money to entertain me for 15 fucking minutes. Read.
So yeah. I feel like a lot of that has to do with the people that are trusted, that they trust to give them it. If you're a paid employee by WWE and you're paid to be someone that deals with nutrition or diet, and you come up and be like, take this, they should know.
No, I agree
wrestler
with you.
Is not. I mean, they like. I would probably educate myself on them if I was in WWE, but I won't hold the wrestler as accountable if it's like some random shit that was in something he didn't even know he was taking at the time.
So if he knew he was taking this, and again, like Gina said, we do not know. If he knew he was taking this, strip his ass of the fucking title. I don't care how fucking good he is. I don't think he's great.
I think they should have used it as a moment to propel somebody else anyway.
I think they should have done it. To be honest with you, and they have yet to fucking do it. Is use that moment to fucking make a fucking statement.
Okay, so the thing is, it's Raw. It's Raw. One of the titles isn't even on the show anyway. You're gonna take another one away from a month?
They obviously knew that the wellness policy was violated when Royal Rumble came around, so they should have taken the title off of him and put it on Humberto Carrillo, even for one night until the next Monday night, and then fucking put it on whoever. You know, I feel like because now we're not gonna see this title for 30 days.
No, I feel like they're gonna go with he was injured from what Humberto Carrillo did.
Yep.
And therefore, they're going to strip the title off him, which I'm 100% okay with. I don't want to see Humberto Carrillo with the title either, because fuck that guy.
No, that's why I was saying, like, make it, like, give him the title on the Rumble night, but then on the next Monday night, force him to face somebody else, and then have him lose the title.
I do not want to see it as an elimination chamber match.
I'd be down to see it if the thing is, it's the only title that Raw has.
I understand that, but they won't do that. They're going to make that probably a match for the SmackDown title.
They're
I'd
not
rather
gonna promote the
build the mid card for fuck's sakes, man. I'd rather see the
That's not how
like
they
I
operate.
I actually feel the elimination
I-
chamber should be used for the mid card titles anyway.
I feel like what's going to happen is
Stupid
the Raw women. Okay, Elimination Chamber is going to be Becky Lynch is going to be in that Elimination Chamber.
Well, she'll
and
defend the title.
Huh?
She'll defend the title.
Right. The Raw Women's Championship is going to be on the line in that Elimination Chamber, and I feel like Becky is probably going to drop it right there.
Which means she's going to actually lose, and I don't think WWE wants to do that.
No, I think they want to go a year
That's
with
the way
it.
it should be done, but
I agree.
I think they want to go a year with it.
Why wouldn't you want to see the U.S. title being on the line in the elimination
They
chamber?
won't strip them of it, though, Basement. They even said they won't strip them of it because Heyman's got such a hard-on for him. They're going to give him a chance and say, okay, you can keep it this time.
But how?
But-
Okay, so here's my question. He's not going to be on TV for 30 days. He's one of like a couple champions that are on Raw, so we're only going to have the tag title and the women's title for the next month.
I know, but
and
you
the
know
men's
that
title.
they don't want to strip of the title because they're like, oh, he's the next big star. It's like
Is he?
Heyman's got such a hard-on
Is
for
he
him.
really?
He's definitely not. What the fuck? Anybody
Get
can
the
say
fuck
this.
out of here. Anybody that thinks Andrade's the next big star is fucking high.
And
He's
it's
not
Paul Heyman's fucking
WWE.
retarded.
What WWE wants is their next big star at all.
The guy can't speak English.
But here's the thing, though, Basement. You said that the only thing we're going to have is the women's title and the women's tag titles. That's not true. We still have the men's world title, which will be showcased for the next few weeks because you got that Brock and Drew McIntyre storyline.
You got to pay fucking $750,000 anytime Brock shows up.
Well,
So
that's
is
a
this going to
fucking
happen
slap
now?
on the wrist for
But is this going to happen now, or is it going to happen after elimination?
yeah, but
Chamber?
even
The actual
okay, but
build
even
to
if Brock's not on the show, you still got Drew. Like Drew's going to be talking about it. You know damn well the storyline's going to continue.
They could just have
like,
Paul Heyman bring
in
it out.
my honest opinion, it's not worth. Andrade is not worth 30 days of not seeing the title.
I know, and then you can, and then the next person who violates that thing, if they have, let's say, if they have the Intercontinental Championship, they're like, well, you guys strip them of it. All they have to say is, well, you didn't take it off Andrade, so you can't take it off me. So they can.
Well, I feel like it depends on the thing is it's not black and white like that. It depends on like the worth of the storyline I'm telling, or they would be telling, or the worth of the competitor they're talking about. If it's Roman Reigns and he gets a 30-day violation and he's the IC champion, I'd keep the IC championship on him. If it's Andrade and I don't give a fucking shit if I ever see him again, I mean, like he's not exactly lighting it up.
No.
In terms of intrigue from the audience.
I agree.
And let's get one thing straight here. I don't want to hear this bullshit that because he's dating or engaged to Charlotte, that's why I got to keep that. That's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard in my life.
I mean,
That's not
Andrade should have lost to fucking Rey Mysterio.
Oh
And Rey
God, that
Mysterio-
says a lot.
Exactly. That does say a lot. Because Andrade has been dead in the water for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's been facing the same fucking people and it's been boring as shit. I'd put it on Rey Mysterio and have him lose to somebody else that's actually worth holding the title. But the Raw is a mess in terms of how they handle championships.
Agreed. So that being said, Raw is over, and now we come to AEW. And there's only a couple of things really about AEW that really we can talk about. I watched it, but did I really? No.
It for me, this was a very regular, and I can kind of say that now with AEW.
have an issue with one thing, really. Well, two things, really. Number one, I get why they're doing it, but why are they doing it? Is Cody Rhodes... What the fuck is Arn Anderson doing? It's like he comes out there and the referee's like fucking whatever, and then he belly bumps him.
Yeah,
And he gets
I'm
kicked
going
out.
to say right now,
What
Arn
the
Anderson
fuck is-
should not be attached to Cody Rhodes in any way.
He doesn't need him.
He doesn't need him, and it's a net negative for Cody Rhodes to have him there.
It looked stupid. It looked unorganic, and it was a complete waste of fucking time. The match
I will
itself,
agree that
it
he
took
should not be part of it.
away from the match. Arn Anderson
I
took
But-
away
did
from
not
the
like
match.
the belly bump.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Like, I just don't understand why Arn is out there with Cody. I don't see.
Yeah,
the
it's such a
reasoning.
It makes-
weird dynamic.
It's stupid.
It's putting like if you put okay, so all of a sudden we're gonna take fucking Paul Heyman and we're gonna stick him with fucking Seth Rollins, a guy that can talk.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even worse than that, we're gonna fucking put Paul Heyman with someone that can actually talk really well. You throw in like Elias, and then he's dead because
I mean,
why are you putting someone that can actually? Why are you siphoning someone else's voice for someone we don't want to even hear, and that should not even be here?
I will say that like AEW as a whole, I thought it was just a fun show.
I mean,
it was a decent show. It was fun. There was like the Arn Anderson thing didn't make sense. JP, what was the other thing?
Britt Baker.
Oh, see,
you know
I
what?
actually liked her heel promo. I liked it. Like it's better than
here's
what
why.
she's been doing.
Here's why I like it. Britt Baker coming out and saying, all you talk about is me being a doctor?
Mhm.
Then shut
That's
the fuck up about being a doctor. Nobody fucking cares.
I think that was part of like
Being a
that was the
hypocrite.
point. Kind
Yeah,
of.
that
I
was
get
the
it,
point.
but it's
Like,
stupid.
yeah,
The thing
it's
is-
stupid, but I mean, like as far as her heel promo, I thought that she did
She
a
can. Oh my
really
god.
good job.
I
Like
almost
I
fell
thought
asleep.
that
Here's the thing that's killing me. AEW has Britt Baker, which I thought was a good heel promo, and even fucking Brandy Rhodes doing a decent heel promo. But you have two people cutting good heel promos that like don't fucking know how to wrestle. I wish it could translate to what they do in ring, because now you have somebody that's can do it on the mic but can't do it in the ring, and you don't want to build the division on a show that's about doing it in the ring with somebody that can't do it.
Right.
I agree with
didn't
that.
mind. I didn't mind her promo, but I thought AEW was kind of like more along the lines of what I would expect from their regular show.
Yeah.
It was what it was. It's
one of the highlights.
7 out of 10, 7.5.
Yeah,
Solid.
one of the highlights for me was like the Hangman Page thing, and I know that like some people have been on Twitter or wherever like bitching, oh, way to show alcoholism, making alcoholism look like it's cool.
Those people
No, that's
need to
not.
just
If you
stop
pay
making
attention,
the fire.
but if you pay attention, that's not what they're doing at all. Because first of all, what they're doing with Hangman, it's working. Like it's working really well for him. They're playing off of the drunken cowboy stereotype, and if you pay attention, he acts like an asshole. So they're not condoning
It's
alcoholism.
a TV show. They don't
they're
condone
actually doing
anything.
the opposite. Like they're showing how much of an
You know what?
asshole you are
I
when you're.
fucking these people I fucking hate.
I mean, I don't
they
hate
want
them.
a
I love-
world.
I
No,
love
I fuck.
them, but
No, I hate them all because they want a world that is only built to promote things. If you want only things to promote, watch commercials and shut the fuck
well,
up.
the thing
If
is,
you
like,
want to build an actual storyline, you have to go to all the deepest, darkest depths of mankind, and we're all not fucking butterflies and fucking
Agreed.
sunflowers, okay?
Well-
It's a show, a television show. It's not
And-
there to promote anything but the product it's selling. It's not there to tell you that fucking anything is good and anything is bad. If it's a bad guy, he's doing bad things. If it's a good
Yeah.
guy, he's probably doing good things.
the
Just
thing
like
is,
every other TV show. If
Yeah.
you have a problem with that, you need to fucking reevaluate your life, because
Yeah.
you're a fucking moron if you look to wrestling to fucking build a idea of how the person you should be.
Well, and the thing
Right?
is, too, like I said, like what they're doing with Hangman, it's working. They're playing off that drunken cowboy stereotype. When he gave fucking Matt Jackson his beer and said, "Here, hold my beer," like that was just funny. It's like a little fun moment, and I don't know. I thought the whole show was fun. Like I said,
Anybody's
I
gonna
agree with
pinpoint
JP as far as like with Arn Anderson, that I don't fucking understand, but
Anybody's gonna pinpoint and pick at that is someone just looking to complain.
Shit, man, they would have lost their shit when Austin did his beer bash all the
well,
time.
and that's the
Okay.
thing that like I even brought that up to them.
Something in
Like
wrestling for the
this isn't the
longest
first time. Like this
I
isn't
mean-
the first time that alcoholism has been
Is
used
wrestling
as
a
part
TV
of.
show or is it a fucking PSA? Like
And if-
let's be real.
I mean, come on, let's be real too. If you watch like, and I know you guys don't, but like if you watch like Being the Elite and the things that he puts on Twitter and stuff like that, like it's all playing into that cowboy stereotype.
Yeah, well,
I just feel like expecting wrestling to be like the flagship of fucking
What
how
morals-
you
what-
should live your life.
it's like people are
Yes,
sitting their
man.
kids down. They're expecting to sit their kids down and say, "This is the way you should be when you grow up."
But the thing is, if you want to do that, then you better sit your kids down in front of SmackDown because that's on
Well, you better
that's on
sit
network
kids down.
TV. Okay,
But
anything
you
that
also
is on
better sit
cable
your kids down
television.
in front of something that's not PG-13 plus, because that's when people start to realize this is fucking bullshit.
Well, the
Okay.
thing is, if you're watching a show that is on cable television, then you should know already that it's going to have stuff that's a little bit more saucy than like a network television show
The
would.
thing is, it's
Fox,
not even
Fox is
not
about
even
as saucy
saucy.
as TNT is.
I mean, it's not even saucy. It's just like
I'm
Jeez.
just
This-
saying, like
this is
according to
somewhat
the
like-
ratings, you know what I'm.
I wish wrestling would teach my kids how to count to 10, and that's what I wish it was. Well, then fucking watch a show with Peppa Pig and shut the fuck up.
Here's
Right?
Pretty much.
fuck Peppa Pig. That's all I have to say. I will say one last thing, guys. Sorry. The women's match on Wednesday night actually wasn't bad.
Who was it?
Yeah, Nyla Rose
It
and
was pretty good.
fucking that girl.
Fucking it starts with an S.
It's something. She looks like Chris Statlander, but she's not.
Swan.
Shanna?
No,
Shayna.
no, that's from
Shana.
Dark Basement. I'm talking about Big Swole.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
yeah, it was.
fucking terrible. Don't even get me
Yeah,
No,
Big Swole's not that
no,
bad,
but
man.
her
She's
the match
big,
with
but
her
she's
the match with her and
still-
Nyla was
I hated it.
pretty good.
I did.
I put Big Swole on the same level as I put Shotzi Tank Driver.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Shotzi Tank Driver.
Well, she drove a tank. It was fucking.
I
Was it-
just I don't know. I don't. What is
I-
she?
Anybody else
did-
think
Sorry, Bobby, go ahead.
What? What, Bobby?
Do anybody else think it was weird when Peppa Pig did all those drugs and started praising Hitler?
Oh my
That was a
God.
weird
So
episode.
moving
Exactly.
on. The only
So
other
they
thing.
taught kids not to do that.
The only other thing that I have is the build for Moxley and Jericho.
I liked what they did on Wednesday with that.
Well, they really didn't. I mean, they haven't really done anything more than what they have. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's what, like 4 weeks away.
If somebody
last
said that
Wednesday,
he
so-
was laughing, Moxley didn't laugh. He made a fucking it was like a condescending laugh, like "fuck you, Jericho" laugh. It wasn't.
Oh
like,
my
"I'm
God,
having
that was
fun" laugh.
that weird laugh that we heard him.
It's not.
Oh,
I'm
God.
having fun laugh. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Of course he's having fun. Because he gets to fucking do what he wants, be his own character, which
Yeah.
WWE doesn't allow you to do, and I understand that. But to sit there and say it seems like he's having fun because of his laugh, it sounded like he wanted what? Makes
Yeah.
shut the- But
For
no,
me-
I don't mind. I don't mind the build.
Yeah, and for me, like I was like Basement. I watched it with Basement after he got off of work that night, and I even told him as well. Like it just seems I'm actually starting to like Moxley more and more as time goes on because you can tell that like he's having fun with what he's doing, and the character is just it's relaxing a little bit more. And not only that, but he's kind of steering away from pulling his punches as much
I
and stuff.
still
So
see Dean Ambrose through and through with him, and it's.
I mean, a little bit, but not as much. Like me, not as much.
It is so there.
He's
No.
he's having fun, which is making me actually really start to
okay,
like him.
I'm not going to sit here and say he's not, but when he gets in the ring, he still just screams.
All I have to say,
Mid-card-
JP,
He still screams
Turn
mid-card
it back.
Dean Ambrose to me.
all I have to say is just wait until you watch the fucking New Japan and see him with Minoru Suzuki.
That I'm looking forward.
That
to
I'm
him getting
looking
his
forward
fucking
to
ass
because I think
beat.
Minoru Suzuki's going to teach him a fucking lesson.
Well, here's the thing. I know we're still talking AEW, and I'll talk about this in a little bit. But the past 2 nights with the New Beginning, they've been in tag matches, and just watch them. That's all I have to say.
This is something I'm really looking forward to because Dean Ambrose or fucking John Moxley, I know he can take a beating,
Mhm.
and I know he's like put his character around that, but I have yet to see him get a real fucking beating, and I'm looking forward to someone that can administer that beating, literally letting his ass up.
I
Yep.
agree, 100%.
Though I do like, I mean, I do enjoy him more in AEW than I did in WWE. I feel like he's slowly, very slowly
Growing it.
becoming more than Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
I still see it though.
I do too, but
It's going to take a
I
lot
mean-
for them to
Like
sell
that.
me. It's going to take a lot for anybody to sell me the Dean Ambrose or John. I still call him
the
Dean
thing is
Ambrose.
too, like the characters are so
They
similar
are.
that it's going to be difficult. But that's the character that I think is closest to who the guy is.
Yeah.
So I don't want
Yeah.
him to play a different character because that wouldn't be
just-
true to his own nature.
I think it's just, for me, it's just more like you see him a lot more loose, and like you can tell that he's just actually having fun, and that's kind of the distinction for me
I think
between
it's.
Dean
I
Ambrose
think
and John
it's.
Moxley.
I think it's who he's in the feud with. I don't think it's.
That's
I
true.
don't think it's because of where he's at. I think it's because of the feud. That
Well,
he's
right
in.
now, I mean, he's facing like
He's
the best
facing a
talent
guy that
out there.
he had a feud with in WWE that was one of his best feuds ever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you know it's gonna be good.
So that's we'll see when he moves
The thing
on.
is, he's kind of behind the 8 ball in ring.
Yes.
Like his in ring work is very. He reminds me of kind of like Raven in ring,
God.
Okay.
which is not good. It's not good.
Raven and John
I mean,
Polo.
he's.
Ugh.
He's a bit more structured than Raven, but still,
Right.
like, I mean, I'd like him
Which
to
reminds me, I need to get back into watching this.
not rely continuously on who he's wrestling.
Yep.
So that's all I got, unless there's something else from AEW that really stood out. Because it's really, I was watching the show, but I'm like, what? Some of the things that they did, just the Arn Anderson thing killed me. It really took me out of the show because they're killing,
I mean,
killing their best character.
I got one thing to say. Like,
Go ahead.
Butcher and Butcher and
That's
Blader,
the
they're
other
like
thing.
completely
Good-
dead
Good God.
Mhm.
because he literally paid them to beat somebody up, and they just lost.
They lost.
Yeah,
This is
and
like
then
they're like
they
third or
even lost
fourth
with
loss.
like beating him up after the match was over.
So are they just like jobbers?
I'm not sure.
Well,
I think that was done more for the MJF storyline.
I just feel like I don't know if they needed to use. It's a okay. Building a storyline doesn't need to be a detriment to
Other characters.
Yeah.
it kind
At times you do need to use them that way, but like there's like if they've been used as a detriment for 3 weeks, should we really use them for the 4th week as a detriment? Because right now they are dead in the water, and it's 3 people.
So
It's
the
a woman
way,
and 2 men.
so the way they tried debuting them, they were supposed to be this big thing, which fell flat on its face.
It did, but nobody knew who the fuck they
And
were except
then
for Allie.
the next thing that happens is now that they're just using them in spots.
I would have liked
where
them
they're gonna lose.
to use them this way if they just fucking beat the shit out of the Young Bucks.
I wish anybody beat the shit out of them. But I
Yeah,
don't
but
care
you know
about
what?
the
Like,
Young
I
Bucks.
mean, for me, like, if they've become that character, these hired henchmen,
Yeah.
you might as well let them be that. But right now, they're hired henchmen that nobody would hire.
Yeah.
It's like, here I am, shoot me in the face.
Yeah.
Fucking stormtroopers.
Right. Anything else?
Nah.
All right.
No,
so
like I said, I just think that it was a fun show, but NXT fucking took the cake for
NXT
me
was
this week.
really fucking good.
It was.
NXT was.
So we're going to talk Keith Lee. Main event took on Roderick Strong. Was this Wednesday or was this last?
That was
I
last
thought
week.
That was the
last
Wednesday
week. Never
before
mind.
that.
So he is the North American champion.
This is the Broserweights.
Yeah, the Broserweights. That was a phenomenal match.
That was
I enjoyed the
great
shit out of it.
match.
I'm starting to get
Did
behind.
this start with Finn Balor versus?
It did.
For-
I didn't really catch that match that much.
Yeah,
Who's
who?
quick?
Finn Balor versus fucking Trent Seven, right?
Trent Seven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that was a
it
really,
quicker match.
really good match.
It was okay. Like I said, I'm not into Trent Seven because he's good, but he tries to be this strong style guy. But God,
No,
he's looking
he's
just, ugh.
he's a tag team wrestler, and that's it.
Well, but the thing is, they took advantage of that because like he started getting his ass kicked before he even got in the ring. So like I think that they did a really good job. Like, I mean, because the whole match was basically being used to show how much of a badass Finn Balor was anyway.
Right.
So they did a really good job showcasing that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was at the detriment of Trent Seven, but everybody kind of knows. No offense
Yeah.
to Trent Seven fans out there, but he's no good if he doesn't have Tyler Bate.
Right.
And
So,
he's also kind of like enhancement talent.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, I mean,
He's enhancement talent for Tyler Bate, and he fucking teams with him. So
Shotzi Blackheart.
yeah, drove down
Yeah.
the little fucking
She did.
RC tank
She
or some
did.
shit.
She did, but I think that they see something in her,
Oh, they're in love with her.
and
For
they're
her to
pushing
come out in
her
a tank.
hard because she ended up
Yeah.
winning. She's been in some pretty. She wrestled Shayna Baszler. She eliminated Shayna Baszler at that battle royal.
They're in
they
love
had.
with her. I will say she's got
Also-
character
Go
for
ahead,
wrestling moves.
Sorry, go ahead, Heather.
And she also eliminated her.
No, she did not. She almost did at the Royal Rumble. She did not quite because she ended up. Charlotte ended up, but she was there at
I
the
mean,
end.
She has more character than she has in ring ability,
But it's
which is good because her in ring ability is not bad.
no, it's
Right.
it's serviceable.
Plus, she has a
I
unique
do.
look.
I do wonder if her look's not going to be lost in the shuffle at times, because she comes out with like a helmet with little horns on.
They can refine her character though, and that's
Yeah,
why she's
I-
there, and that's why she's where she's at. Because I think Triple H can work with her character. I think Shawn Michaels could work with her.
Well, I mean,
Whoever
as
else
far
is-
as like NXT women's talent goes that aren't already established somewhere else,
Mhm.
and being established in NXT, she has a very high upside.
Yep.
So I can see why they're doing what they do. I don't know why she came out in a fucking little tank and crashed into
That
the
was-
ring.
In Evolve, that's what she did.
Okay, well, I mean, it is what it is.
She's a military brat. Her gimmick. Her dad, if I remember correctly, her dad was a soldier, and she's from the Philippines. So she's half Philippine, half Caucasian. So that's why they're doing that with her.
I mean,
That's
she's
why-
got a good upside, but I feel like a lot of the time NXT character development is very like extremely one dimensional,
It is.
and that's why it falters on the main roster.
Yep.
Though, yeah, there's a lot of main roster one dimensional characters, but coming out of NXT with a one dimensional character that they can't use immediately, that they don't think will get over, they're going to change you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see what she does. I don't care for her that much right now,
Mm-hmm.
but you never know.
So probably one of the best segments of the night, and I loved the way it happened. Ciampa and Adam Cole. I am
Yeah.
looking forward to this match, and I will tell you why. It's the way they both came out. Ciampa come out and said,
Well, Ciampa beat the fucking
yeah,
he beat them to death. But you know what I liked about this too? He beat them up, but when he came out of the darkness,
Mhm.
his shirt was all messed up, so it looked like he actually had a fight instead of just there's three guys unconscious. That's that.
right. But he said, now that whatever, and I'm going to. He set up the chair, put an X on it. He said, a table, I'm sorry. Set up the table, put a big yellow X on it. He said, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to powerbomb you through this table. I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Then I'm going to powerbomb you through this table, and then I'm going to sign that contract. Adam Cole comes out. This is what was so good about it, because Adam Cole, even though he is a heel, he is the perfect heel, and I'll tell you why. Because he does not back down from a fucking fight.
Yeah. Well, you know what he is? He's not a coward.
Yes.
Hey, what? Is it fucking... Can you believe there's a WWE wrestler that's a heel that's not a coward?
Which is
fucking
why,
like,
which
holy
is
shit,
why
man.
this is why I hate Andrade. Because every fucking time Zelina Vega has to get involved in his matches, which diminishes fucking Andrade as a character.
The same thing they're gonna do, Seth Rollins, the same thing that they do with 99% of their heel champions.
Yep. And it's a constant same fucking thing. It never fucking. It's a
Everybody's the
vicious
same fucking
cycle.
character.
Yep.
One thing I will say about this moment is, like, when William Regal came out, he was a bit too goofy.
When who?
William Regal.
Oh.
When he came out, he was a bit too goofy with his presentation.
Yep.
I don't know.
But what I really loved is Adam Cole said, "Here's what's going to happen. I'm the champion. I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. I'm going to come up there. I'm going to powerbomb you through this table." And that's when William Regal came out. And he's, he was already out there or whatever. And I love that.
You already signed it.
And
Goofy
then,
son of a bitch.
and then Adam Cole was like, "Hey, I got this," or whatever. And then freaking, he went to hit him. He hit him with the microphone. And Ciampa beat the shit out of him, put him through a fucking table, signed a contract. And here's what I really liked, because it was a fucking shot at what they did with the feed. Instead
That
of
was
doing it in
audience
the
induced,
fucking
too.
red light, he grabbed his fucking head and just smeared the contract.
That was audience induced. It wouldn't have happened without the audience. The audience was like, "Sign it with your blood."
But it worked.
Yeah.
It worked because he was bleeding.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was supposed to bleed. That's what made it more organic.
No, he hit him with the edge of that microphone, but it worked so perfectly. This was a great combination of things.
I enjoyed that. It was probably the best segment of the
I
night.
love the segment. I just like
It really
Mr.
got me
Magoo,
going with the show.
the William Regal Mr. Magoo thing. I don't know why. It's so weird too, because William Regal's usually like serious and everything. He just seemed weirdly off.
Yeah. Gina? Oh, okay. Correct? Did you see that? Bobbit?
Yeah, I remember that segment. I think we talked. I said that was my favorite segment of the night, along with the because we were talking about the Keith Lee one. Then we brought up Ciampa. Like, oh yeah, that was the best one.
I did like Keith Lee with his promo.
Yeah.
Keith Lee, but he's getting better.
He is, and they need to feature him like this for at least half a year.
Yeah.
And get him to the point where he needs to be.
I've heard Keith. We take the title off Keith Lee and put him up on the main roster. No, keep the title on him. Keep him on fucking NXT. NXT is the main roster. They're on USA. They are as featured as WWE.
They're SmackDown
Raw
2.0.
Yeah. So just leave it. Just leave them.
What do you think is going to happen there? Because we're going to have a match probably with Dijakovic and fucking...
Keith Lee.
No, the other fucking Roman Reigns rapist.
Oh.
It already happened.
Damian Priest? That happened.
Oh, that
happened.
Mm-hmm.
Was it for what I think it's
for? Yeah, it was for the number one contender.
So
they actually announced it? Okay.
So,
it happened on Wednesday. Where were you?
No, there's a huge fight in the middle of the ring at some point in time. Then the match happened.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was announced
and
for
they
that.
said the winner of this match gets a shot at the fucking North American title at Portland.
Okay.
So Dijakovic ended up winning. He gets to face Keith Lee at...
As much as I'm okay with it, I don't want it.
Why not?
Because I've seen it.
Yeah, but this is...
fucking 100 times.
But this is different, though. I think that you got to trust NXT with this because they are pretty good. Even though you've seen it, you haven't seen it where a title is on the line.
It'll be a good match, and they'll be like competitors will probably shake hands, but in the end, Keith Lee's going to win.
Oh, Keith
And
Lee.
that's
Keith
that.
Lee's not
absolutely.
losing that title for a while. I can guarantee you that. And then,
And then he's going to go on to face fucking anorexic Roman Reigns.
where he'll.
Well,
I will
actually,
say this. Sorry?
actually, with that they're coming back
I don't see Velveteen Dream.
There
Velveteen
is
Dream's going to be.
no
Velveteen
way.
Dream is probably going to come back and be thrust into the main event scene.
Which is where I would put him,
Is-
because
yeah,
I don't want to see
think he's
Velveteen
taking- I
Dream.
don't think he's
Keith
done
Lee.
with there.
There's zero chance for
He
Velveteen
might
Dream
get-
there.
Well, he may actually. I can see where he's going. He's going to go after Undisputed Era. He's going to
Yeah.
go after Roderick Strong. He's going to go after Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. He's going to go,
Well,
and that's probably where you're going to see Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish lose the titles because of Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream will come back for a run without a title for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll be without a title for probably like anywhere between 3 and 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's probably going to turn his sights on the championship.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he's not even going to stay in NXT that long.
So then the Broserweights and the Grizzled Young Veterans was the main event. Good match. Great match.
It was a really
It
good
was,
match.
but I feel like they kind of dropped the ball with the Dusty Classic by building another storyline that kind of took place during 90% of the fucking show, or 90% of the actual tournament.
Yeah, but is that really what they're doing?
Well, I mean, the Imperium storyline with fucking Undisputed Era kind of dominated the Dusty Classic until it didn't.
Okay.
And now I personally don't give a shit about these fucking young veterans or whatever they are. I mean, the writing was on the wall who's going to win this for me.
Yes. I mean, I will say this. The Grizzled Young Veterans are pretty good. I think
It's too similar to last year.
Yeah, I mean the storytelling, yes. I get it. The storytelling I understand, but it like I said, I mean you can only
Doesn't mean I can't enjoy it though.
No.
I thought it was a good match as well, and I thought the right people won, and I hope they actually stay together as a tag team before they fight each other.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned what I was going to mention. Did I?
So
mention-
that February, whatever the fuck it was, that's Velveteen Dream.
That's
We all agree.
Velveteen Dream. Oh, I did want to talk about that. Ember Moon. Everybody was tweeting at her or whatever, saying, "Hey, it's Ember Moon. Ember Moon's coming back on February 5th to NXT." She actually got on Twitter and said, "No." She confirmed that herself. It is not her. So people can stop.
I mean, with the arrangement, it has to be Velveteen Dream, right?
I thought Velveteen immediately. Like I did not think
With the
Ember Moon.
the third eye circle thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Killer Cross or somebody, but it doesn't really make sense.
No.
I mean, Killer Cross would be like, I'm just thinking here, if he was going to have some sort of a vignette like that, then I would imagine it would be like Fire or something like that. You know, like
They might have to go with a different character. I don't know if he owns the rights to his character.
he owns the rights
He
to
owns
his
the right to
character.
his character, but are you sure Killer Cross is going to want? Because once he does that, then Vince will. I know Vince.
From the way that I understand it, I don't even know for sure that Killer Cross is going WWE because like he
is in MLW.
Yeah, because like he just put out a tweet a week or so ago, and because like he talks to his fans a lot, and he was like, "Well, where do you guys want to see me? Would you rather see me in WWE, AEW, or New Japan?" And there was a lot of people, of course, that were saying AEW, but there was a lot of people that were saying New Japan as well. And he has gone on record stating that he would love to wrestle in New Japan. So you might see him do a stint over there before he does anything with the WWE. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah. There's that.
I mean, NXT was pretty good. It was better than AEW, and I don't know, like Raw was actually pretty good this week.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, the Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai had their match. That was okay because they're actually going to have another match. And it's going to be at NXT TakeOver Portland. It's going to be
It was street fight.
So they're building to NXT TakeOver, which is February 16th, a couple of weeks away. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a interesting, and I don't know how we're going to stream that or whatever, but I'm going to watch it. I'll probably be watching it and then probably stream it later, or we'll talk about it or whatever. So yeah, that's all from NXT for WWE and AEW, the two big dogs. But really, going to New Japan, I will say one thing. They did change the titles, tag team titles. There's a lot of people pissed off that they keep putting the titles back on Gorillas of Destiny, which they did. I don't mind it. I think, to be honest with you, I think they're one of the better tag teams in the world today. They're that good. I love Gorillas of Destiny. I think they're legit. And honestly, I think the Usos are a poor man's Gorillas of Destiny.
Agreed.
I like the Usos, but I think they're poor man's Gorillas of Destiny.
Yep, I agree 100%. I mean, I would love to sob about FinJuice losing the titles, but I mean, come on. Like you said, it's fucking Gorillas of Destiny. Like, they're probably hands down one of the best tag teams in the world.
Yes, they are.
Do you know what the fuck is this Sheamus naked ass in my face?
You're welcome.
Actually,
this is an expert Photoshop job, is all I'm gonna say.
It is. So what else has happened in New Japan?
Let's
I know
see.
New Beginning is going on.
Yep. They had the New Beginning was actually going on in two different places at one point in time this week, because you had the stuff that was going on in the States, and that's where the Gorillas of Destiny ended up winning the titles from FinJuice. But then you had the stuff that was going on over in Japan in Sapporo, or however you say it.
Yep.
Sapporo?
Sapporo.
Like the beer.
Yes. Okay, I'm
That's
not going to go through the whole card. Both nights were very good. Some of the highlights, I'll just give you some of the highlights. Night one, you see a lot of tag matches start out. You've got Minoru Suzuki and his Suzuki-gun in one team, and then Moxley and another team. Moxley actually gets his ass beat quite a few times, so that'll be fun for you guys to watch. Night two is actually what I want to talk about the most, because we had Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. And I won't reveal who won for those who want to watch it, but all I will say, it is not what I was expecting.
How long is this match?
45 and a half hours.
No, the match isn't actually that long. I want to say it's like maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Basement, I don't care. She can spoil it. I don't give a shit.
Basement?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Zack Sabre Jr. and the Paradise Penis Hold.
And that was what shocked the shit out of me, because you guys know I love Zack Sabre Jr., but I thought Will Ospreay was winning this, because with how Will Ospreay's fucking offense is, like he is quick, and when he wrestled the first night against Zack Sabre Jr. in a tag match, he was so fast for Zack Sabre Jr. that he couldn't keep up with, like ZSJ could not keep up with him. So I'm thinking, oh my god, like Will Ospreay has this. But then to find out that Zack Sabre Jr. actually wins with a submission hold and forces
No way!
Ospreay. He forces Ospreay to tap out. It just wasn't what I was expecting. Very good match. Both nights are very good.
I mean, if he won with a pin, I wouldn't expect that.
Well, I wasn't expecting it because with how fast Will Ospreay is, I wasn't expecting Zack Sabre Jr. to actually be able to get the submission hold in. I thought this was going to be the one time when Zack Sabre Jr. was going to be forced to wrestle somebody else's match.
That
That's
never
never gonna
happened.
happen. It's never gonna happen.
You know, and that's what shocked me because I was like, how the fuck is he going to keep up with how fast he is
It's
to
like
even get his
watching-
submission on?
It's like watching any other fish fight an octopus.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
love.
always gonna end the same way. And
I mean,
Yeah.
I love Zack Sabre Jr., but I thought it was time for his reign to end. And what better way for it to end than to give it to another, person from Great Britain? But apparently, that's not the way that they saw it. So,
I want to see Zack Sabre Jr. versus the Fiend.
I mean, yeah, we'll put him in a fucking.
And the Fiend
octopus.
does exactly what Seth Rollins did to fucking the Fiend, because that would be great. So anyway, anything else?
But
Run him over with a fucking truck.
no, but both nights are very, very good. We've got, let's see, night 2, I believe, Okada versus Tai Chi. Really good match. But anyways,
Tai
the
Chi,
next
way of fighting.
the next matches I believe are coming up on either February 5th or February. I think it's February 5th, and then February 9th, I believe, is when Minoru Suzuki goes up against John Moxley.
Is
Okay.
Tai Chi a way of fighting? Is it like a certain way of martial arts?
I think it's just, I don't know.
I think it's just his name.
No, I'm pretty sure Tai Chi is a.
It is, but it's one of those mantra fucking type
Yeah.
martial arts. It's one of those calming.
So if I
Well-
said I knew Tai Chi, would you not be confused?
Well, and you guys know that. Well, you guys know that Tai Chi has that iron glove now.
No, I didn't know this.
Oh my god.
Why does he have an iron glass?
JP, do you remember who the guy was that had the iron glove before?
I can't remember. He's an older gentleman. He ended
Yeah,
up
it was an
retiring.
older New Japan star, and he basically retired and left the glove in the ring, and then Tai Chi came and scooped the glove up. And the whole thing about the glove is it's supposed to have like this like magical power, but really all it is it's fucking metal. And so when he puts it on, he fucking knocks somebody out because it's metal.
Why is he allowed to use this?
But he uses that the first night he uses that against Okada, and that kind of sets
Just
up with their
smoothing
match
that
for night
question
2.
over.
Uh,
Why is he allowed to use this?
He's
The whole
not-
thing is he uses this
No,
in
no.
the match.
No. He doesn't use it in the match. He always uses it like after the match. And I've only seen him use it. I think this was like the second time. Because he used it after the match on night 1 because he literally kicks Okada's ass after the match is over
Mhm.
in order to set it up for night 2,
Right.
their match 1-on-1. So, but yeah, it's a lot of really good action going on.
I know Tai Chi.
Shut up.
So, is that anything else for you?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I do applaud, and I know on Twitter, Gina had said something, and I said about the Juice Robinson losing the titles, and I forgot that Minoru Suzuki, because I had said I think Juice Robinson may take the title off of Moxley, but I forgot about Minoru Suzuki. So
Mhm.
I see Minoru Suzuki taking the title off of Moxley, and then I see.
Abs-
Actually, no, I do not. I see by some fuckery, Moxley holds on to the fucking title, and Juice
Please God,
Robinson
no.
takes
I want him to be
I
beaten
get it.
to it
I-
within an inch of his life.
I-
Like beat this guy to death.
I
Please
Okay.
God.
get it, but I just the way New Japan is right now with fucking trying to get into the fucking United States.
I don't know, man. We're getting closer to John Moxley versus Jericho, so
Okay, hold on.
I don't think he's gonna own both titles at the same time.
There was a part in night 1 that you guys are gonna fucking die when you see it because John Moxley, like I said, it was tag match, and John Moxley he like starts like winding up his right arm, and Minoru Suzuki's kind of looking at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then he tries to punch him with his left arm, and Suzuki just looks at him and he's like, "Oh, you're fucking dead now."
Yeah,
And I have a
they're
feeling
telling
that's gonna
that
be.
they're telling that story, like
Yeah.
Jason said.
I'm looking forward to that match. So I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, even if Minoru doesn't win, which under no circumstances do I think that he shouldn't win, but even if he doesn't win, Moxley's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah,
Moxley needs to get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
agreed. And bad.
When does this happen? What date? Do you guys
I
know?
believe it's February 9th. I'll Google it just to make sure.
Because this happens before Revolution.
Yeah.
That's not a good look for Moxley to get his ass kicked and then have to kick ass.
So
he might win, unfortunately. I don't want that to ever happen.
I get it. So moving on from New Japan, we go to NWA. I have
Power.
I have not watched very many episodes. I haven't gotten caught up, but I have been paying attention. I know that Marty Scurll is challenging Nick Aldis for the 10 pounds of gold, which is the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it. And
I hope not.
I do.
I like Nick Aldis. Marty Scurll's a fucking scrub, man. Come on.
I understand, but right now he is hot.
It's good for power, but at the same time, it's not. It's good for exposure. It's not good for, I guess, people that watch week in, week out as much.
No,
real quick before we get... I'm sorry, JP. Real quick before we get too far into it, it is on February 9th.
Okay. I think Marty Scurll is that hot right now. And
I don't. For me,
for you,
Marty Scurll
I
is like he's just what like his name is hot, but like that's because of who he's affiliated with. Name me a great Marty Scurll match.
I'm not gonna sit here and justify what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like if Zack Ryder, it's like Zack Ryder. If Zack Ryder had a lot of heat, then he can go somewhere else and get heat, and it'd be great.
Well, speaking of Marty Scurll and how hot he is, like he's got the whole thing coming up too with ROH Supercard with Jay White. He issued a challenge to Jay White and he accepted. So like Marty Scurll's fucking all over the place, man.
Yeah, he's so undeserved of his heat. I'm gonna say, like when I say that, I mean in ring, because his in-ring work is so mediocre.
I mean, it's not great. It's not, and I can agree with that. It's all about who he's associated with is why he's so hot right now.
Yeah.
So
his association and the character built off that is more hot than the guy.
But if he is this hot, if he can continue to, the only way he'll get himself over is if he can deliver. That is the question. Can he deliver? I do not know.
I'm going to say no.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Marty.
I've seen like
I'm with Basement. I don't think Marty Scurll is deserving
matches
of his accolades, but he is not undeserving of his accolades.
I've seen 5 or 10 matches, and I mean, I feel like I could have replaced him with a lot of people in ring, but I couldn't replace him with a lot of people on mic and his character that he does. So, in that respect, he does deserve. In ring, I don't see it and I don't get it.
See, I think a lot of Marty Scurll's draw is actually what's happening outside of the ring within the companies that he's working for, because you see what he's doing with ROH right now and how he's building those bonds with NWA, and he's building bonds again with New Japan. And if it wasn't for Marty Scurll, that bond with New Japan would have still been broken.
I mean, to me though, Marty Scurll's like, this guy shot his load, and then his load became gold. I don't understand the love for this. I just don't get it.
He did a lot in ROH.
I don't get the love. I really don't.
But he did do a lot in ring in ROH to help kind of build that world title up. So
he never won the world title.
Agreed. Wait.
No, he never won the world title.
Well, I thought he
get the
won
love.
once. Never
I
mind.
don't get the love for him.
He's never been.
I think
he's
it's.
never been-
I think he's been overhyped. I think he's still someone that can sell a product, and
The only
he's
reason,
doing that. But so
the only reason why he is as hyped as he is because he is the one member of the elite that did not go to AEW.
And here we go with this shit.
No, I'm not going there.
I would
I'm
would
just
say
saying,
it's like
that's where a lot of his hype is because
his plague doctor gimmick was the last gimmick to join the Bullet Club before the destruction of it, and it was the one probably freshest in the mind of people. And there's a lot of speculation about him going wherever he wants. There's a lot of like heat on the name, but I don't.
That's what I
I
mean.
honestly think he's a guy that doesn't deserve what he's been given by his in-ring work. His mic work is good, but it's not. The guy's not. I don't understand. It's like he's a mega star when he should be just a star.
I'm not going to put judgment on Marty Scurll until honestly the match that I'm going to start where my judgment is going to come in on him is going to be his match against Jay White because Jay White is phenomenal in that ring. So if he can keep up with him, then
But
he'll earn my respect.
he's in the ring with
Jay White.
Okay, so here's the thing. Marty Scurll's. In order for me to really honestly get behind Marty Scurll, he's got to carry a match. I have yet to see him carry a match.
And you know damn well going up against Jay White's going to be carrying that match.
Of course,
The thing is, like he's got the persona of being someone that's going to be able to bring a company out of destruction back into life with the way that they're treating him. The guy is a fucking second coming of Christ at this point in time.
He's just a really good businessman. That's
fine, but
the bottom line.
that doesn't translate to the ring.
I completely agree with you.
Okay.
100%.
I feel like he's been given more than he's worth, and that's just me. I mean, I think he's a valued wrestler, and I think there's value to put on him. But to do what they did and give him like everything that he wants is a stretch. But this is who are we talking about here? That gave him everything he wants?
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
Yeah. They're also kind of fucked.
They have
he was their basket. Like all of their eggs were in his basket. But did you say that he's going up against Nick Aldis as well?
Yes. He's wrestling for the World Heavyweight title. Yes.
When he wrestles Nick Aldis and then when he goes on to wrestle Jay White, those two matches are going to be what distinguishes him for me.
But he's also wrestling with Nick Aldis is literally one of the best in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay White can carry him, even though he's not one of the best in the business.
I argue that.
Nick
Jay
Aldis
is
really
way
better.
good.
In my opinion, Nick Aldis is better than Jay White. Jay White is young. He's young, right?
He's a young veteran, is what I call them. You know, he's
so
mid-30s, but he knows what the fuck he's doing.
He can work a match, but I don't know if he can work a match to perfection. I feel like he can definitely work a good match, and I think the Aldis match will be better.
Oh no, I was referring to Nick Aldis when I said like I refer to him as kind of, I don't know how else to put it, but a young veteran. Where like
he's like 30.
He's about our age, but yet he knows what the fuck he's doing in that ring.
Nick Aldis is 30.
Yeah, right around our age.
Yeah, but that means like at 35 as a wrestler, kind of like a veteran at that point in time.
Well, that's
like
I mean
Randy
like
Orton,
a young,
right?
like that's why I called him a young veteran because like he's right around our age, maybe a little.
He's 33.
Well, he's always young. Yeah, he looks like he's about 39 years old, to be honest. But
isn't Mickie James like pushing 50? Like, how the hell did she bring him in?
She's got that pigs in a blanket,
She's
man.
not,
Oh God, no.
She's not.
Everybody,
not that old.
Everybody, she's like 40 something. Everybody loves pigs in a blanket.
Early 40s, I think. But no, anyways, like
they serve hors d'oeuvres and pigs in a blanket are out.
Yeah, I with Marty Scurll, then I don't know what is going to happen to.
Just turned 40.
Nice, but with Marty Scurll, I don't know what's going to be able to happen to make him established to me then because it's going to be hard to find somebody that he's going to wrestle that he's going to have to carry that match.
I feel like that comes with him being in a company for a while and being the guy. The way that his contract is put, I don't know if he's going to be a guy anywhere, but he's going to be a guy. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
going
the guy.
to be the guy anywhere.
No.
I mean, kudos on this guy for like pulling the deal he did. I wouldn't have given it to him because I think he is a dime a
I
dozen.
wouldn't
ROH
have given
had no
him
choice.
the money. I wouldn't have given him the money, but
I
from
wouldn't
what I
give him
have
any-
heard,
Yeah, it's for
that's why
but-
AEW wanted him, because he was a really good booker.
Yeah, and ROH, they had no choice. Like, all of their eggs were in his basket. He was their only option.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the end, I hope he succeeds because I don't want to see him fail or anything like that. I just I'm tentative on the guy hugely because I never really liked him before this, and I don't think he's going to blow my socks off. If he's a great booker, then they've invested more than a wrestler, and that's good for them.
Yep.
I just hope that he succeeds because it's gonna be better for wrestling as a whole. Because if he succeeds, then ROH succeeds, NWA succeeds, New
I
Japan
don't
succeeds,
I don't hope
and
for
wherever else
any-
he goes.
I don't hope for any of the wrestlers to really fail. Like, I mean, I might not like something. It doesn't mean I wish the fucking I wish the pox on them or anything. I hope the best for him, but I'm gonna be realistic. I look at him the way I looked at him before this.
I'm just gonna say this. I get what you're saying, Gina, but it's not gonna grow wrestling. I think wrestling has hit its pinnacle. You are not gonna see any more. You're not gonna see it grow at all. I mean, you're gonna see a little growth, but it's not going anywhere.
I feel like the marketplace is subject to change. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And I mean, I can honestly say that wrestling, I mean, I would like, if the world didn't surprise me, then I would say wrestling is on the downturn, and the downturn is where it will be. But I mean, you kind of never know how things work out. A lot of people wouldn't be able to predict this surge of wrestling that happened in the late '90s.
Mm-hmm.
But it did, and I'm not going to say it wouldn't happen again. But I don't think any surge like that celebrates a bunch of people is going to work regardless because there's no bunch of people anymore. Everybody is kind
not
of
only
like
that, but everybody's
fucked.
split up. Yeah, well, everybody is split up, and there's so many different things that people are doing now with all of the different versions of social media and stuff. I think one of the reasons why wrestling hit that surge in the 90s was because what did we really have to do on
everybody was on the
Friday
same
night
page.
or a Monday night than sit around and watch TV?
But the thing is, everybody was on the same page because everybody wasn't given a platform to be different.
Yep.
Everything was the same. Everybody listened to whatever came through the same fucking television set, and most of it was working class people that was like, "Fuck my boss." I fucking hate my boss. And that is where they took off.
Yep.
And it was, I fucking hate my boss and show me titties and ass.
And
that is
WWE has run that gimmick.
Exactly what they did.
Is run
Hey.
that gimmick right into the fucking ground. Because they still
Oh, yeah,
fucking do
they-
it today, yes.
Basement JP, here is a match that I know for a fact that YouTube will absolutely fucking love because somebody's going to get murdered. And it's
Hate
somebody that JP fucking hates. On Joey Janela's Spring Break, it will be Minoru Suzuki versus Orange Cassidy.
Oh, no.
my
He's
God.
going to get fucking
Hey,
murdered.
he's gonna do a couple little shin kicks, and then he is going to get his
He's going
anus
to die.
wrapped around his forehead.
He may be an inverted figure of himself by the time that match is over. I might actually fucking want to see that. But
There's
Minoru
actually
Suzuki
on
is
Joey
one of my
Janela's Spring Break,
favorites.
there's a lot of really good matches. But I mean, I'd seen that and I was like, oh my God, he's going to die.
good.
Minoru Suzuki is definitely one of my favorites.
I
He's
love him too.
one of the
Yeah.
great fucking hard hitting, legit fighters.
He's only a couple
Yeah.
years older than me
Business.
too.
Marvin Watt sent that to me today, and I was like, oh my God, he's going to fucking die.
Good.
Suzuki was like the guy was he not in mixed martial arts?
Yep.
He was also
And he
an
was
MMA
like he
fighter.
had like he wrestled or fought like fucking 20 or 30 times. Not like Brock Lesnar fighting 6 times or something.
Yeah.
The guy was like a legit record.
Yeah, the guy can go. And the only other thing from NWA, to be honest with you, is there is a new women's champion in Thunder Rosa. Now, they have really, when I quit watching it, for some reason I just stepped away. I just got burnt out on wrestling. They were really building her, and that's when Melina, or whatever her fucking name is in this, I think they still call her Melina. And then they had, what's her name? She was in Mae Young Classic, Marty Bell. They're in a faction together, kind of. But Thunder Rosa ended up beating Allison Kay, or Serena, whatever her name is, for the world title. They're actually doing a rematch, but we see rematches, but this is a different feel to it. If you go and watch, it was on Twitter and it really caught my eye. Kind of looking forward to that match, which actually is going to make me want to watch NWA. They're making the thing with NWA is, yes, it looks old school, but it has a new feel to it, and they make their titles feel fucking important.
Yeah.
I would much rather, in my honest opinion, I think the NWA World Heavyweight title is more prestigious than any other title in wrestling today, because of the lineage that title has.
I mean, I can agree with the lineage part. Like, as far as looks like that, I think that I
But the
appreciate
guy holding it,
other ones
the
better,
guy holding it is, arguably, why he's not getting the credit he deserves. He should be, whenever they do the PWI Top 500, he should be in the top 5 every fucking year.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nick
Nick
Aldis.
Aldis.
Oh yeah.
I'm
The guy is
legitimately here.
really
I've only
fucking good. That's
I've
all I
only
can say.
seen
You
I have
like
only seen one Nick Aldis match, and that was his match against Cody. And that match was fucking great.
Well, I mean, Nick Aldis is like he is a WWE wrestler through and through, but he understands in-ring psychology
Yep.
a lot better than most of the talent you see in WWE nowadays.
Yep.
Like he could work a match properly back in the early 2000s, late 90s, and be fine.
Yep.
Nowadays you won't see that, because these guys, I'm going to sell my forearm. I'm not going to sell anything about the actual like mental battle I'm having with somebody.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all physical and mental is out the window. But he is definitely, like, this is a guy that I thought would have been WWE a long time ago. But
Well, I mean, Mickie James is there. Speaking of her, she is still hurt.
big tin of blanket.
She is still hurt. She has not healed from her injuries. Heather told me that
Wow.
just tonight. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't think that she personally probably doesn't mind. I mean,
I
because
personally don't care if she's there or
Well,
not. To be
okay,
honest, she's nostalgic act.
Mickie James was great at the time, and she still is really good, don't get me wrong. But personally, I think that she's hit the age, because she's got her country music career, and then she also has a son at home,
Mhm.
so I honestly don't think that she minds being at home with her son.
In my mind, I don't even. She is what she is. I would never say Mickie James was a great in the business. She was what she was, and I mean, if she's getting a paycheck from WWE for not doing anything, good for her, I guess.
Yep. Totally agree.
I don't care to see her. I really don't.
Yep.
That is what it is. If
Yep.
she's there, I thought they were just like taking a break from her, but who knows?
No, she's been injured
Yeah,
for a
she
while
tore
now.
her ACL.
Yeah, I'm okay with her not being around.
I don't
As long
mind
as-
her. I actually like Mickie James. I have always liked Mickie
I do
James.
too, but I don't need to see her
No,
now
no.
in her early
She's-
40s. I don't
But
need
the
to
thing
see her.
is, like, she's one of those characters that, like, she's great when she's there, but God, and I hate to say this to you because I like Mickie James, but she's not fully missed when she's gone.
Yeah. She should be a part-time talent. And when I say part-time, I mean show up randomly and say, I need a tag team partner. And out she comes.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble, out
Mhm.
she comes. Random Battle Royal, out she comes. That's it.
Yeah.
So anything, that's pretty much it for NWA and with Mickey
SmackDown
James.
was a pile of fucking shit.
It is.
I think SmackDown was terrible. I thought SmackDown was
I only
bad.
got to watch last hour, and it was not impressive.
It is what it
It was
is.
one of the worst SmackDown shows they put on in a while.
Yeah.
It didn't help that Raw was better. SmackDown was just, it was
I mean,
what it was. It was
we
there.
knew that Raw was going to be better. Let's get real, because I mean, just the whole prestige of
I mean,
Edge being on
even,
Raw.
even without Edge, okay, so one thing I hated about Raw, I love the fact that Edge was there, but I hate the fact that every commercial break came back with
Yes.
fucking
Edge
Edge
is
theme
gonna be
music
huge.
until I wanted to kill someone.
That's why
I'm
I
like,
have
there's
a
just a
problem
way to
with
do
it.
something,
will-
and there's a way to fucking throw it into the earth.
I will say this: like, if you take Edge out of Raw, Raw was still better than SmackDown for me, because Raw actually had some pretty decent matches.
Yeah, they built a couple things on Raw. SmackDown was just not great for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they ended the storyline with Roman and Corbin
Are
finally.
you sure?
I mean, I hope so.
You
No, I don't think they did.
You sit there and people say that, and then the very next week,
I mean, it was just like a very bad. It's been a very bad storyline, and it's taken up too much TV time. And then you get to a SmackDown that's pretty much built around it, and it's like, oh, come on, man, we're done. We're done.
yeah.
We're done. This is John Cena, fucking Randy Orton, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
A million times, man. You have to watch this every fucking time I tune in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think SmackDown was the worst of the shows this week, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, they're all about the fucking same.
Well, Raw was better than SmackDown, AEW, and NXT. NXT was the best. AEW probably I would put second, then Raw, then SmackDown.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
put Raw
outside.
before-
I'm gonna go
AEW.
outside my norm, and I'm gonna say NXT, then Raw. Actually, no, yeah, NXT, then Raw, then AEW, then SmackDown. Oh, actually, NXT, Raw, NXT, New Japan, Raw, AEW, SmackDown. There's my.
Make it run.
Yeah.
Um.
I
Sorry.
might put Raw above AEW as well. AEW kind of like drew the line.
Yeah.
Raw
it was,
kind
it
of
was
like
borderline boring
pressed.
for me.
SmackDown was bad in my mind. I
So-
did not like SmackDown.
And then the final thing to talk about tonight, and it's only one real thing, and it has to do with John Morrison's wife in real life.
Taya Valkyrie.
What about her?
So people were saying that she was working on a honor clause in her contract. That is a lie. She is still signed, still working for Impact. She is not going anywhere soon. She's
Well, and I mean, to be quite honest, do you blame her for not going anywhere? Because she's one of the top women over there.
I can guarantee
I mean, I-
guarantee you, if she would have showed up at the Royal Rumble, people know who she is. They would have lost their shit.
But I will say Taya Valkyrie versus fucking fuckface. Who's the champion?
Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, that's the money match. Or Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace and her are the. It's not,
Personally, I would prefer for Jordan Grace to get out of Impact. I think that she's too good to be over there.
I think
but-
Taya Valkyrie's too good.
Taya Valkyrie's too.
Yeah,
good.
I agree with I agree with you with that, but 100%. Like Taya Valkyrie definitely should have gone WWE. Jordan Grace, I feel, would
I
be
feel
like
like
really
Taya-
good for like AEW.
I also feel like Taya Valkyrie would be better in a smaller promotion than WWE, in my honest opinion.
Mhm.
Like after watching her for years in fucking Lucha Underground, that she kind of like belongs in like, and so does John Morrison. Neither of them belong in WWE. John Morrison sucks, for lack of a better term. The guy is like, he's okay if I see him every now and then, but if I see him week in week out, I'm going to want to kill myself.
Yep.
The guy wrestles like he couldn't kill a fly. his promo and everything else is not going to work because he's the same character he was when he left, and nobody cared then.
Yep.
Nobody's going to care now.
Yep.
So John Morrison is just another jobber.
It's-
And Taya Valkyrie would be wise to stay away because they're never going to push her over what they have. I'm telling you right now.
No, I do agree. But I'm
She's
just
gonna be another fucking what was her name? The Russian Jessie Gab. No, what was her name? The Russian woman.
Jazzy Gabbert.
Jazzy
Jazz
Gabbert.
Gabber. Yeah, she's gonna be like that. She's gonna be used that way. And it's not
And
good.
from what I understand, Jazzy asked for her release and was granted.
Yes, because they weren't using her.
Yeah.
Which is mind-boggling to me.
Right?
But anyway.
Jazzy is not only would she have been an incredible talent for their roster, but she would have been so good to work with those younger girls.
I felt like she was like she should have never been UK NXT pigeonholed.
No.
I would have thrown her onto the main roster with Nia Jax being dead. I would have worked her into that like Vladimir Kozlov role for the women.
Right.
And then when Nia Jax came back, just kept her around as like a mentor or a tag team. You know, like she can add definitely like they just misuse talent constantly. Is all I'm saying.
Yep. No, I'm with. I get what you're saying. Trust me. That being said, anybody else got anything, Trek?
I saw a bunch of people hating on Paige's limp titties.
Oh my god! Can they people shut the fuck up?
Who cares? So honestly, yeah, like I don't understand at this point in time. I mean,
are we shocked that a female wrestler got a boob implant?
Can I also say something?
Even if she wasn't a female wrestler, she got a boob implant.
Let me say this one thing as well. Why people are like fucking like I don't know who it was, but they got blocked by her, and they were fucking gloating about it. Like what are people?
I've seen that so many times.
What do fucking people? What are you trying to fucking? Are you an idiot?
I have seen people gloating about, like, they literally list the names of the wrestlers that they have had block them, and they're talking about, like, what wrestler is going to be next, who they're going after next. Like,
people are dumb.
What's the fucking point of that?
Why are you even on fucking social media if that's your whole goal is to get blocked by people? Are you just dumb? What are you trying to accomplish?
It makes no sense to me, man. The fact that blew up so much, I was like, I saw this and I was like, okay, well, whatever. If she got a boob job, she got a boob job.
I seen a picture of Nia Jax.
Oh god, I've seen her dancing with Charlotte.
Well, did you see her picture? Recent picture? She actually has lost.
Yeah, I did see that one because she posted it the other day, right?
She's just standing there. She does not look, and she doesn't look like she doesn't look like Charlotte, but she lost some weight.
Honestly, I don't think that she really had a choice.
Yeah, well, she didn't have a choice because her knees. She was walking on because of her weight and where she was at, because of where her weight was. She didn't have any knees left, so they said either you lose the weight or you're gonna have to retire. So she's doing the work. She's lost weight. She's not looking back.
I mean, with Nia Jax, I mean, when I look at her like weight for the most part, it's like in her hips and ass is like where somebody who, I mean, for the most part, it's somebody who has like kids and stuff would gain weight.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's not thin, but she's proportionate. She's really
I mean, I personally don't care about Nia Jax, and it has nothing to do with her weight. Like, I don't care if she's 700 pounds or 5 pounds, but she's just green as fuck.
She is
pushed way too fast. Bad on the mic. She's bad in general, and I mean, if this is her job, I hope she gets better at it, so I can stand watching her.
I just don't like her as a person.
I don't know her as a person, but if I did, I would probably love her.
Real quick before we go off the air, that New Japan on February 9th, they have Kenta versus Naito as well that night.
Yep,
So
it's for the both titles, I think.
yeah, it's both titles. It's actually a really good matchup that night. They have both titles for those two. Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki for the U.S. title. Hiromu Takahashi versus Ryo Lee for the junior heavyweight title, and then Sonata versus Jay White.
Yep.
I don't like Kenta.
I mean, I do.
I think you've said that numerous times.
Yeah, and that's where I'm gonna stand.
I don't mind him, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I go out of my way to watch his ass. If he's not on, then the show is probably better for it, and if he is on, the show is no better. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna really like change it either way, but he's not a selling point for me. Is all I'm
No,
saying.
that's my point. Trek, do you have anything?
No.
Bobbit? Motherfucker fell asleep again.
Well, they're probably
No.
thinking these guys don't shut the fuck up.
I'm trying. Thinking.
I didn't fall asleep.
Then say
He's
something.
watching Masked Singer.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you got any thoughts about anything that happened this week, or anything new, or anything that we talked about?
No, it was a decent week for wrestling, and well, I'm hoping next week will be even better.
I'm hoping next week is better too.
And Baby Tina always beats Yoda Gina.
You're full of shit.
I want them both to die, literally.
No.
Bobbit, no.
Basement, anything else?
I got nothing.
Nina?
Other than I was wrong when New Japan comes back on the air, they're live tonight. No, I don't have anything.
Okay, well, I don't have anything. I want to thank everybody for being here. I actually have to work tomorrow, so this is going to be interesting.
Now you're in my realm.
Well, I'm just being
Every
nice.
Saturday, I have to work the next day. We go until fucking 5 a.m. and I
don't
want to
wanna
kill myself
go
the next
until
day.
5 a.m. It's not my fault. I don't.
Just saying.
I'm not gonna.
Experiencing.
I don't.
You're experiencing me right now. You're my spirit animal.
Basement. I did military for 23 years. That is not killing me. Trust me.
Oh my god.
So, I want to say thank you to all you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great night, and we will talk to you Wednesday on my channel for either NXT or AEW. Depends on how I feel that day. And then Tuesday on my channel for Sideline Study Podcast. Then we're going to be back, hopefully back to normal Saturday night for this show. And then we'll be doing other things as well. So that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We got a lot of talking in. Tried to keep it under 2 hours, but yeah. So everybody have a great night, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a good night. Yeah.
No, don't. Fuck that shit.
Hey, baby.